How does it feel in the state-of-the-art back pocket studio kitchenette?
Like what? Absolutely amazing to be here.
So I review milk. Welcome back to Knobfest 2023. Get yourself a knob of bread. Stephanie.
Yep, they're f***ing.
Samjang pom puree.
That's what the yellow goop is.
Peter.
It's in your butt.
It's in your butt.
No, I'm serious. You can't make an egg. You're not a bird. Look at this TikTok.
All right.
No!
And what do we have in common? We're f***ing.
Hey! Welcome to Back Pocket for Thursday, the 6th of April?
April.
All right. Starring Stephanie Bendixson.
I was still putting on my lip gloss, so I'm just going to finish it right now.
Yeah, F1 Red Bull racer Stephanie Bendixson. Slow to start tonight. We got Gus Ronald, who tragically dies tomorrow in a rooftop tent drowning.
That's a good way to go.
It's Raj!
Hello.
Hide your kids, hide your wife. He'll cancel them.
Hide your kids, hide your wife? Is that
Yeah.
me?
That's
His hair
Antoine
is so
Antoine Dodson.
good.
I know,
Look
at
at
that
your
hair.
hair.
Can we just stay on this shot for the next
pockety
2.5
or
hours?
Man.
Both.
You
hang
couldn't,
on, I'll just,
like, you
I'll just
couldn't
fix it up
foil
with it.
that
There we
colour in that well. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
It's Joshua!
Hey.
Yay!
Swift on the keys and even swiftier into our hearts.
And our dinner on the bench in the background.
And it's swiftier into our dinner in the background. And it's me. You know him. You love him. It's Peter Burns.
One of us does.
That's your intro that you wrote for yourself?
I didn't write it.
You just
I
had
just
to-
felt it.
You felt
Yeah,
it.
You
one of
know.
us legally has to, I think. And it's not Steph.
Tonight on the show, it's not Steph. It is the end of an era, the start of some games, the middle of the stage, and the height of a heist.
Height of a heist.
Height of a heist. Yeah, but let's just go around the horn a bit before we get stuck into show proper. Raj, welcome
Hello.
back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me
This
again.
is the second time you've been in the studio. The
Yeah.
third time you've been a part of a back pocket experience. The last time
Back pocket
was
experience.
on stage at PAX.
It's like, it just happens to you.
Yeah.
You just have to
At
let
the
it
end,
happen.
There will be a survey about your back pocket experience.
Yeah.
We'd
Yeah.
like you to be as honest as possible.
It's an 8-point thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I hate 8-point.
It's always 8.
Yeah.
No, it should be 10. NPS is 10.
anything
It's
even.
different for each of us.
I want an
Yeah.
exact middle. You know.
Peter has a survey. Gus has a judgment
I'll
test.
tell you what I think of
Ah,
that.
okay.
And
Yeah.
mine's just one of
Upward
those
feedback.
screens where you do a happy face as a middle face or a
Oh,
sad
yeah,
face.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like,
And you
like
pick one.
when I went into the bathroom before, it's like, how was the cleanliness
Yeah, yeah,
experience
yeah.
here?
Yeah.
But
was
that's it's actually that's the
face.
flush button. It's like, how was your experience? And it's a deeper flush when you're on the red face.
I would then say, like, that's the angry face, meaning, like, you got everything done you needed. Like, if that's the face you're
I
doing
don't
in the
think so.
bathroom, then that's...
No, that's how you feel about the experience.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
and if
phrased
it was
wrongly.
unfortunate.
I've done it like Jackbox. I've got the ends
Yeah,
mixed
yeah,
up.
yeah,
I
yeah,
fucked this up massively.
Steph, you're away all weekend at the F1.
Oh my goodness.
How was it?
It was wild. I mean, it's always wild. I get to go with Red Bull, which is really cool, which
Yeah.
means we get like crazy access. But last year, I think when I went, it was like the first year, like the Formula One had been cancelled the previous year because of COVID at the last minute. So there was huge like money investment that kind of just like went nowhere. So I think the year after that, everyone was a little bit hesitant. So it was like a lower key affair, but because it was a lower key affair, there were far less important people there, which means I got
This
access
one.
to fucking everything, which was amazing. And then this time it was like, you know, awesome in a different way, but it was just like a much bigger scale production. But it was like I had to vacate a table for Kylie Minogue.
Like literally rubbing shoulders with celebrities.
It was like I had the best.
Well, she's
spot. I
tiny,
had
so I
the
was going to
best
say,
spot. Like,
the
it was
only
like-
time Steph could rub shoulders with anyone is if it's probably Kylie
there was
Minogue, height-wise.
yeah, and it was like there was this Red Bull, and it's so just like it's so this like dumb hierarchy thing. But there was this big Red Bull, like they call it an energy station, where you get to go in, and it was just like amazing access. There's a DJ and a bar, and then little tiny bits of food and stuff that they're taking around, and there was a little outdoor balcony
Guarana.
that had
That's all they're serving.
yeah
I
that had a
imagine.
little rope, and I was like, am I a rope person? And she was like, yes, you are. And I was like, hell yeah. And I went into the rope.
It was the exit. Oh,
and there was like a little
Straight to the
table.
pit lane.
And I was like sitting there and I was like, man, this is like the best spot. And then like 3 security guards came and like, man, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And I was like, no, she said I'm a rope person. And they're like, no, just the table because we've got Kylie Minogue coming through. And I was like,
okay, fickle.
You could pass off as a Minogue, a Minogue. Don't you think?
yeah.
A niece.
Yeah.
The smile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say
I've
like
seen one of the highlights of everything that I've done in my entire life is
Marrying Kylie
seeing
Minogue.
Kylie Minogue's hot pants. I didn't think that.
Oh, they're in a
on
museum.
her,
though.
Not on her.
No, they're in
a museum. They
A
belong in the
vastly
museum.
inferior experience.
Totally. On her are amazing.
My one is
Off her,
that
pretty cool.
My one is that the beach that I go to, not a beach, I go to baths, and there's a big concrete slab that everyone lies on, and I lie there in this one spot all the time. I like it's the best spot. You get the best.
And
then I watched
arch your back.
What?
Like in the spinning around?
So in the spinning around one, they did it at a pool, but then they did the tourism ad for Australia where they got her to replicate that, and she's like in my spot. Kylie's in my spot.
Wow.
Kylie's doing these ones. Lying there as the big drone shot zooms out. I'm like, I know that ladder. I know that bit of concrete.
That's
I know
slow.
where I lie.
That's a different song, different music video. Spinning
Yes.
around, she's lying on the bar in the gold hot pants.
You're right.
Yep.
Slow is when she's in
by
the pool. By the pool.
Why
and
do you
doing
guys
that.
know so much about Kylie Minogue?
She's an Australian icon, Raj.
Jesus, come on.
Name a more important Australian.
Can I say
Danny Minogue?
Controversial,
funniest
but
home
I'll take
videos?
it.
Did she do that? I feel like she might
I
have
don't
hosted
know.
one of those things.
I remember
at one
her
point.
being married to the guy out of Nip Tuck. What was he called?
Oh,
What was he called?
Oh, the main guy?
Yeah.
the guy who was Professor Doom in Fantastic.
The
Yes,
guy who was
yes,
the guy
yeah.
who was like was he
Michael-
like Balthazar in Charmed?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yes.
Yeah. No one knows his name.
Julian.
No one knows
His
his
name
Julian.
is Cole.
Julian
am
McMahon.
the
Julian
son.
McMahon. Miss Silver knows it.
That's where the
Oh,
end
God.
came from. Yeah, nice. Julian McMahon.
There you
Can I
go.
point out back to the F1 briefly that like it looks like you had amazing access and amazing time. There is still something that I saw on a lot of people's social media feeds that went there, which has always made me giggle because I'm not a big F1 fan. I want to get into it.
Race
but,
cars?
I like race cars. Just F1's not a big fan.
No, that was on everyone's social media feeds.
Well, this is the thing. They were like, here's a cool pit lane, here's this and that. And then here's what I could see. And it's always, and even yours was like this corner of stadium and chicken wire fence and then just.
Yeah. So the balcony was like above that,
Yeah.
but like the bottom half. But it's like you'll take chicken wire.
That's
over,
what I mean.
like-
Everyone who was posting on social
Yeah.
media was like, look what I got to see. And for anyone who's not that into it, is like, that looks shit. That
The
looks
thing
like,
is, like,
the worst place you could be.
And there's so few spots at the F1 that are actually good visibility wise
Totally.
because it's like the cars move so fast that like if you've got this much road in front of you, it's like meow, and you're like
Arguably, it's not
Corner-
a great
corner-
spectator
you
sport.
want to have a long like view down a
Yeah.
corner is
But
like,
that's
ideally
better
pretty
view
much
from
any
home.
sport, though, right? You're going to get a better experience
At
watching
home.
it through the broadcast.
To be fair, though, a team-based field sport, they don't all run off the field and you see them a minute later coming back on the
Yeah,
field and
yeah.
running off again. There's not downtime.
But where we were was next to the grid and near the pit lane. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where like
Oh,
you
look,
see all
don't get
like
me
the
wrong.
like you see arguments, you see like people kicking stuff, you see like cars being dragged back in all mangled, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
what's going on?
It was just an influx of social media of bad angles of cars blurs. And I'm like, and they
Yeah.
were so excited about them. I'm like, good for them. That
Yeah,
looks great.
yeah.
But everything else looked fun.
It's about an energy, I think, more than it is about
fair
anything else.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it was awesome. And then I had like a 2-day Red Bull athlete summit, which as an athlete, obviously I participated in, and it was great being amongst all the dirt bike riders and the
Wakeboarders
and the wakeboarders
kiteboarders
and
anything
marathon
on boards.
runners.
Is wakeboarding still a thing?
Yeah.
100%.
Massively.
Yeah.
They, now instead of the
What do you mean massively?
wakeboard, I was going to say I was mixing it up with kiteboarding.
Yeah.
Kite surfing.
But kite surfing now, instead of using the big parachute, they use like it's like what just looks like a paper airplane, but it's made out of foam, and you just hang on to the runners, and so it's a lot easier to hang on to. It's like a hang glide. It's like a windsurfer, but without the pole connecting the board. You just hang on to this thing.
It's
And
really
people
cool.
jump off cliffs with them and just go all the way down to the beach and then land in the surf. It's insane. It's not a sport.
It was very funny because we were so like they do their best to include us in everything, but it's like we're listening to motivational speeches where they're just like, when you're out there, as an athlete, doing your best, achieving things that most humans will never be able to, pushing yourself to the feat of endurance, all of these things, and the gamers as well.
And to
it's
them.
it's me,
You guys in the back.
Grace. I am Paul from Grace,
Yeah.
Paladin Amber, and like Lachlan from the his sort of power esports thing and everything. And we're all just like hanging out there, being like, yeah, gamers.
And those athletes couldn't do it without the motivation that you gamers give them.
Yeah, and they were like, come up with some cool like stunts and stuff. Like, the wakeboarding guy was like, oh yeah, I could like. Matt Hall could like pull me from his plane and I could do a cool wakeboarding thing on a lake and, like incredible. And I was like, that sounds
The
awesome.
insurance write-off, mate.
And then,
You
and,
can't
then
prove that.
and then Amber, bless her, if she sees this as a clip, she's like, okay, it's me gaming in space.
That's fucking awesome.
Amazing.
I mean, that is Red Bull.
Yeah.
It is.
So red.
And you're
Yeah.
never going to get there unless you give them that idea or you ask.
She'll
You're
be
like,
the one laughing when it happens.
Totally.
Yeah. She'll be on the International Space Station playing Minecraft. Going like,
They'll do
"Fuck
the
you,
thing they always do,
Steph."
which is they'll take you into the plane that does the little few moments of free fall, and they'll be like, "Quick game now! You've got 3 seconds of free fall."
Yeah.
I'm surprised they just pat everyone on the head in the gaming corner and just give them a copy of Steep.
Oh my God.
It's like, here you go pretend.
Yeah. Riders Republic. Do a flip.
No, Steve, we'll give you the lesser of the two.
Go on, do a flip. All right, well, let's. That sounded like a crazy weekend. This show will not live up to that excitement. Here's
Hey.
a little bit of backup.
Ouch.
Stresses me out every time I watch that.
What a bungle.
Oh, no.
Bungle.
Oh,
he's
no.
looking at the camera.
Oh no!
I know,
Here, let me
it's
help
in the
you.
camera.
Let me help you.
Oh,
Let's
Gus.
take a photo quick. As an athlete.
Oh,
Yeah,
cute.
but I feel like looking at this one.
There it is.
There we go.
Oh my god! That is not a
good.
camera noise.
That is terrible.
That's a terrible camera noise and a blurry photo.
A little bit back, brought to you by EvilSpyBoy. I had it right anyway. I didn't need the fucking notes.
You need it for the
I
voice.
need the notes.
It was inside
follow
you
you.
all along.
No.
All along.
Just to be sure, now it's time for a little bit of backup.
You've done that best.
It sure is.
Brought to us by EvilSpyBoy. Check, get your exclamation mark out, EvilSpyBoy, and why not be just like EvilSpyBoy and bring some generosity of your own to Food Bank Australia. You can donate at foodbank.org.au and help out just like EvilSpyBoy. What a great cause. What a good guy.
Turns out evil spy boy, not that evil.
No.
Actually quite generous.
Yeah.
And this is an EvilSpyBoy shirt.
That's
Wow.
good stuff,
Is
Pete.
it?
That's good stuff, Pete.
That is good stuff.
Ah,
That's good stuff.
Cute.
For a good boy. Which would be weird if he was just good spy boy. I like it actually. It's got a nice ring.
Evil good. Neutral good.
Neutral-
Chaotic good.
chaotic
Chaotic
good
evil,
boy.
neutral
Chaotic
good.
spy boy.
Chaotic good boy.
Boy.
Good boy.
Mm.
Spy boy.
This news is not chaotic. It's chaotic-ish.
Oh gosh.
Just kind of sad.
Oh, so
really.
clunky.
No, I was just thinking we were going from high energy and then it was like then to news. And I'm like, well, now for
Well,
depressing
we
news.
thought
Did
Raj
you just
had to
crush?
take-
Did you just like ruin my segue?
He sure did.
You just jumped in over
sure
the
did.
top.
All right.
And destroyed like in a
Taking
a
away again.
steaming
His
pile
segment.
of burning
Segue
trash.
away. That's what you usually do with our show.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm here for.
Segue away.
Well, I'm just going to go straight into it
Yep.
because just like that burning pile of garbage on the ground, we now have E3 cancelled.
Hey, he's done it.
There we are.
Perfect.
I had nothing to do with it. Let's just
Sure.
get the record straight.
Tell chat, mate.
E3 being cancelled for good. Finally, not my fault.
I don't. Yeah, I mean,
Is it for good?
Yeah.
It is for good.
yeah.
At
yeah,
this point.
It's
yeah.
done and dusted.
Yeah.
Ever
yeah.
the
Is
optimist?
it another Australian's fault? Potentially.
Probably. Probably.
Fair.
And I think, like, you know, if you follow the 6 degrees of Australian games journalism through E3, I think it probably would lead back to you at some point.
Oh, definitely.
I don't think we can say with
there is
certainty that
some
you haven't caused E3 to be
Kevin
cancelled.
Bacon 6 degrees of separation that has my involvement.
You almost
Yeah.
got me cancelled at E3
Yeah.
Well,
with alcohol.
I was going to say before, Gus, why aren't you wearing a road cone on your head? It's very confusing.
That's the
for me.
special.
I don't recognise you without the code.
I'm not hugging a piece of road traffic control. Really.
Especially if it's E3, we've got wine.
Yeah.
There should be a pool
The
somewhere.
night is young, my friend. The night is young. But yeah, we should point out, if anyone doesn't know or has been living under a rock, E3 that was planned to run this year has officially been cancelled or has been delayed indefinitely because, unfortunately, not enough people were willing to put in. We had Sony definitely said they weren't coming along. Nintendo pulled out, Microsoft pulled out, or never went in. Ubisoft and Sega were going at one stage, and then I think that when they finally...
Ubi that pulled out at the end.
Ubisoft pulled out, and then Sega followed close after. This is the footage we have of E3.
This
Fuck
is
me.
LA.
Amazing. But once they pulled
This is your B-roll from when I... This is the
This is a
road
B-roll.
show.
This is...
Yeah.
No, this isn't the one. This isn't the one.
No,
this was a couple of years ago.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Wow.
My greatest sadness is that we couldn't all go together.
I know, it would have been hilarious.
It would have been so
The
cool.
footage we would have got. But yeah, after Ubisoft pulled out, Sega pulled out, and then ReedPop, who were the company who came in this year and were in charge. I'm trying to be serious here, guys.
Good
Please
luck.
go on.
They were the ones who were in charge of
Do you still
getting
have that shirt, Gus?
I do actually.
Yeah.
It's got a little bit of vomit on it. It's fine. ReedPop were in charge of getting it up and running. They had some pretty lofty and ambitious ideas, which I think they needed to, because everyone was starting to see kind of the spiral of not enough corporate interest in the event. And unfortunately, yeah, as of I think last week, about mid last week, they came out and officially said they couldn't do it. And I mean,
Oh, Prey, what a good game.
I don't
Sorry.
yeah, we're lost in
so
this.
good.
No,
This
no.
is such a good E3.
It was such a
But I
good
mean, the
game.
reason why I gave Josh this footage was because we're going to have that exact reaction to this. It was like E3 to me was so exciting throughout my teen years, and definitely at the start of my career when I got to go and work at E3 and experience it firsthand.
Yeah.
It really was a boon for the gaming industry. You know, it started as a trade show, and it blossomed into something more public through the broadcast around it, and then it eventually became, there were public tickets sold to E3
It's a trade show for
in the
something
later
fun.
years.
So of course it reached its peak at one point when the consumer looked at it and said, "This looks like the coolest thing that I wish I could go to." Which is
It went through so many different incarnations, though.
Yeah.
When it originally very small, run out of one little hotel in, I think it was down San Diego or something. It wasn't
Yep.
even in LA.
Or Vegas, maybe.
No, it was, I think it was San Diego.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they went into a bigger thing, then they went into a smaller thing where it's
Yeah.
multiple hotels and just the press, and then bigger thing, and then the public, and then...
It's crazy, wasn't it?
Vrump.
It was like, there was
Yeah.
I remember there was a year that I think Bajo went that Cirque du Soleil did a performance, and then they gave everyone free Xboxes.
There was the year everyone got a free Xbox,
Yeah.
360, I think. They were it was under your
The
chair
memory that
kind
I
of
had
thing.
from being was the Sony press conference, and then the screen parting, and then being like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Jane's Addiction," and they're like, "Bah!" And it was like, "What is happening? This is a video game conference.
yeah.
What is
It's
going on?"
It definitely had rock and roll status, and everyone. I think no one's pining over the fact that we're losing a trade show. People are sad. The internet is sad because we're losing a stage for funny things to happen, cringe things to happen, amazing announcements, you're all breathtaking moments to happen, kind of thing. The rock and roll side of it, which I agree, it's kind of sad because right now, getting this information in a digital age, in the modern age we are in, there's no reason to have people go behind closed doors and look at things and then write it in Word. In a Word document that gets into a magazine or a website.
Yeah,
That
and
is just not a way to...
It's just different because while I understand the press conferences, obviously they get streamed anyway and people can watch them and all that kind of stuff. But it's the hands-on time that journalists get with the games, and while you could send out codes, it's more about being in the room with other people at the same time discussing it, talking to the developers firsthand and getting those little unique stories and moments that make it a human experience as opposed to just getting sent digital codes and typing out something like you do at any other time of the year.
Yeah.
It was really it did so much to set you up for the next 12 months of what's happening in video games and the culture around
That's
it.
kind of the key, was that it was once every 12 months and nothing else existed around it.
Yeah.
And it was not just it's easy to recognize the benefits of it from internally in the industry because you get to have those one-on-one developer chats. You get to be a part of something that feels really big and amazing. But the really beneficial thing as a trade show was that every 12 months, newspapers that didn't give a fuck about games for the rest of the year for 11 and a half other months were all writing about this thing.
Yeah.
This is the biggest thing in LA for a week.
Yeah.
and it was in all the papers, and it was talking to a much broader audience, and it was talking about tech, and it was talking about games.
Every time I went, we got a call that was like a catch up from News ABC being like, hey, they just want to quickly get a
what is
soundbite
this?
from you. Or like, you're over there? Oh, like we're going to do a little, an enlighten news kind of thing.
Plus, we got all these developers to talk to Darren, which was amazing.
Oh, that's right. It's a good icebreaker. I
It
wonder
was
how
awesome.
much...
They loved it. It was so different from every other interview that they did that they were just like,
so
fuck
can you
yeah.
look down here at this thing, and this is going to
Pretend
be a
there's a
robot with ping pong balls for eyes.
To be fair, I wonder how many other, like maybe in Australia, but globally, how many other sort of outlets went and really leaned into that personal angle that we loved as part of Good Game. Like, I think we saw that as a really great in to go and find the faces behind the games and to chat to them and kind of, meet them on their level and sort of shine a light on them. I don't know how much that actually happened in the rest of the industry.
I think it started to
Bits and
happen.
pieces, but
It started to happen more as like, because it's so interesting. There's so many contributing factors to why this has changed the access and the internet and everything, obviously. But like, I remember even just when you started seeing people with DSLRs on the floor just filming their own vlogs and stuff like that, it wasn't just like, they were able to take people on a journey and GoPros and all that kind of stuff, of the experience. And like one of I think my favorite E3 that I did was the one that I did with Lynn G, and who was a producer on Good Game. And she was like, let's get a sense of what the Devolver digital space is, because it was always kind of outside of E3 across the road in a car park. And they would set up this very Devolver kind of like house party vibe.
Describe a bit for Josh. There should be some of that in this, potentially.
In this car park with like caravans and stuff like that. And I remember like going in there, and there was a very drunk French dude that I had a long conversation with. It was quite philosophical. And then going into a little caravan, and it was the developer who did Hatterful Boyfriend, and he was telling me about Hatterful Boyfriend 2. And the whole thing was just like, I don't know, it felt like I got a sense of the people who were putting all of this stuff together and made it unique from other industries, as opposed to just being like a trade show.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I'm sad.
Again,
I'm
I
sad
think
it's gone.
we lent into that. I wonder, there's the other side of things where just your regular websites and magazines were just getting the exclusives of the game. Like, what are the features in the games? And when we got asked that, we're like, I don't care. Like, how did you make it? What's it like being at E3? Like, we'd always ask those questions.
Yeah,
So
I think that would vary from person to person.
For Australians, I think we have a different relationship with E3 because it was such a journey to get there, right? And like for me to go, it was a huge opportunity to meet new people and make new contacts and stuff like that, not being associated with broadcasters or permanently with one outlet. So it was such a big deal to be over there, and you needed to make absolutely every second of that experience count.
Yeah.
And whether that was drinking or connecting or listening or writing, like you did not have a single ounce of time that you were really sleeping. Because you had to make the most of those.
Every time we went over, we did this show, and then I would always go over and want to do like a feedback thing each day, like a little vllog or video that would go back each day. So we'd go home every day, and people were like, we're going out for Pocket. We did it for
Pocket.
I did it for
it was
Spawn
after
Point as
Pocket.
well. We
Oh,
did
yeah.
SP at E3, and it's like every night I'd go home. Everyone would be like, we're going to drinks. I'm like, I'm going to cut this and send it to Australia. So I literally didn't sleep any week that we went. It was
You're
wild.
implying that we all went for drinks. We never did. What are you talking about? I shot the fucking thing. I wrote it for you.
Yeah, true. That guy never answered one single question.
But I think it's different.
Sunglasses.
I think it's different for, like Americans going to E3. It was flying across the country, or I lived in LA or whatever, or Canadians or whatever.
But it was awesome because you'd hear people speaking Polish on the floor to their cameras and stuff, or French or whatever. They're all over the world. They'd come.
And for them, I think they're probably so sad, just like what we are, to a different degree, because we just don't have the opportunities. And now, you got, what is it, Parsec or whatever, and you sit there and you play the game. You got a PR person watching over your shoulder, blah blah blah. It's not the same. And whilst you still kind of getting the same out of it at the end of the day and having those conversations.
I mean, that's perfect example. That was in the Devolver Digital car park. It was a caravan. The game was some like 90s shooter, like Doom-inspired shooter. And these dudes just had a smoke machine inside the little caravan
in their
pumping constantly. And the door would open and just like plume out. And it was like, you don't get that through Parsec. Like this is the vibe that these... This is the people that made this thing, and knowing the artist behind the thing, just like it paints such a different picture.
Remember there was Minute, that black and white game that was every run was 1 minute. It was in another Airstream, and it was like a young Scandinavian couple, and they were just so polite and so scared that they were at E3 in like a lovely way. And it was like, I now look at that game and go like, I have a fondness for that because I know these two really wonderful people who worked so hard on it. And it's like,
It was also like, it was less controlled because, you know, there were so many people and it was such a big thing. You had the opportunity to kind of get more moments. And like, I remember on the first, I think it was like the first day was that we were there, the Xbox presentation, I think happened, like the press conference, and then Janet would always make us go to the party that night, which I know, like, make us go to the party, but it was like jet lag. I was wrecked, and so I was like, I just want to go home.
Janet can fucking party as well.
She can fucking party. But she was also like, no, we're going to take our cameras because all of the devs are like are done for the day and they're getting shit faced, and she's like, that's when we get the best interview.
Talking to people yet.
Yeah, so she's like, you get that dev in the corner and you get them talking about stuff, and they're like out of conference mode, and she's like, we get some great interviews that way, and I was like. At one point, I was like asleep on the pavement outside in a queue to get into this party.
Oh, yours is different.
No, I was just tired. I don't handle jet lag well. But yeah, it was just great.
Plus, you just bump into people.
Yeah.
I literally bumped into Spencer a few times, or the guy who was the guy that played Chuck that's now Shazam.
Oh, yeah.
He had like a gaming thing for a while.
Zach Levi.
Levi. Keely.
We chased down. Beard.
Tim Schafer.
We chased down Tim Schafer.
Yeah.
Barjo chased Reggie and didn't get it. Chased Reggie down a hallway and just got
and
like
Nathan
a
Fillion. Remember the Nathan Fillion denial?
Oh, so brutal.
So crazy.
I'm pretty sure that was on camera.
It was on camera.
Yeah, it was so. It's so heartbreaking.
It was so heartbreaking.
It was like you could see the frame where his heart breaks. He's like, oh man, I wonder if he has a clip of that, or if we can get.
He'll watch it on. He'll watch it on the stream.
We've definitely watched it back. We've definitely watched it back.
Yeah.
We totally have.
Oh,
but
man,
I mean,
funny.
I guess the thing we're waxing lyrical about, like enjoying our memories of it, and that was something we were very fortunate to have. It's gone in place of. I mean, Jeff Keighley stepped in and created a model of something that will, fill.
Key 3 is
the Keighley is the Key 3. He's got an element that will kind of gap fill what's not there, or what the hole in our hearts from
with
E3.
a weird award ceremony.
Totally,
thrown
but
in.
I mean, but
and
they
a
have
Gillette
been.
shaver guy.
It's called the Turbo Chic Power Man. Or whatever.
The branding hasn't worked.
Look, I think we'll quickly skim past the fact that I don't think it could have existed in the same way it has in the past, and that's the big elephant in the room. It's like this thing doesn't exist the same way because of the internet, because of the connectivity, and unfortunately, I don't think it was the fault of definitely not ReedPop, but of how E3 was run. It was like it was this thing that needed to cater for the consumer as much as it was for the industry, and I just don't think it handled that juggle or that transition as it could have lent harder into it. That's what apparently Keighley came 8 years ago and was like, you need to be more proactive than reactive.
But isn't it like? Because are you saying it should have gone down more of a PAX route and involved people sooner?
It tried doing that. It was getting more consumers.
Because I remember when they had consumers go there, but there wasn't really much for consumers. And it was also like so much of that stuff was by appointment and you had to be there and you get hands-on. For the average consumer, they were just lining up for hours to play.
I was going the years that it was starting to
Yeah.
let more and more in. And then I think the year that I didn't go, or potentially this one was like, it was going to have full consumer days. So just like ticketed days for the public to come in. And more and more public came in. It did fill out. And I think, unfortunately, the industry withdrew because of that. And I think they just saw it as they didn't handle that transition correctly.
ReedPop are in charge of other events exactly for that. Like PAX is that format. It's much more community based.
I don't know if it would have worked, but maybe locking it down to be more industry, like removing that public aspect and making it more exclusive. I don't know, but we won't know. But I just think there were.
I mean, ultimately, the only people that needed to benefit from that were Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft.
Yep.
And they've decided that they benefit more from doing their own things and
putting
controlling their
distance between
messaging
each other.
than creating things more beats throughout the year.
It's so true, isn't it? And having them together, it was always... Sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
They were always pitched against each other side by side, and it was like...
Which was healthy competition
who won
until...
E3, you know?
And I think until EA and even Nintendo not only broke off to do their own thing separately, location-wise, but Nintendo as a digital thing, I think the feedback from that was... Well, that just boosts your numbers. That boosts your success. So that competitiveness wasn't actually working to anyone's benefit. So the more distance you put between all these major, companies, the better they did, and the more time they could. We can have a whole month for PlayStation in a different month, and it just made sense.
It just fractured. Like you had
Yeah.
EA off in another suburb entirely that you had to drive like
Yeah.
25 minutes to. Then you had Microsoft over at the Microsoft Theatre.
Bethesda's one was had to
Bethesda
catch
was,
a bus to
yeah,
it.
out in
We
the
didn't
middle
know
of
where we were
nowhere.
going.
Like,
Yeah.
it.
Which
But
was fun.
Blink
But
182 was there, so.
Yeah, that's true. And giant turkey legs. That you,
we missed the turkey legs. Yeah, we
That was
missed
great.
But yeah, rip E3.
Rip E3.
Yeah.
What a note to leave it on.
a new one.
But there are still games. Games will continue to come out, and we've played some of them in a little segment we like to call What We've Been Playing.
It's a segment. It's called What We've Been Playing. It's happening now.
Look at the thumbs!
And it's not little. We have so many little segments we like to call, but they're not little. They tend
They're
to.
substantial.
They're
They're
too long.
substantial. A
If
substantial
anything-
segment we
They
like
are,
to call.
That
dare
was
I
little
say,
backup,
chunky.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little bit of
25
backup.
minutes.
Yeah. A largy bit of backup. As what we've been playing, brought to us by BuriBuri. Thank you so very much, BuriBuri. As is custom with BuriBuri, we like to read a strange lore from around the
Ooh.
globe.
I always look forward to these.
And we're sure the BuriBuri has put people away for more or less than this. In California, anyone caught selling a smoothie that has lumps in it,
Wait, is smoothie in inverted commas?
No, I
it
think
is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A smoothie that has lumps in it, because the next part was lumps, in it is breaking the law. If they're selling it as a smoothie and it isn't perfectly smooth,
Oh, it's not smooth.
So
it's
what
not
is it
smooth
then?
enough.
It's
It's a lumpy or a thick shake, maybe.
lump.
Well, not thick shake. What do you call a juice with chunks in it? Like that's just a.
A juice with
A
chunks.
soup?
A soup?
I think you got yourself a cold soup. Gazpacho.
Gazpacho.
But gazpacho's not lumpy. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm okay with it.
lumpy.
You're right. I guess it's not a smoothie if it's not smooth.
Yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
full
I'm
of
with
lots of little chunks, but if it's a
Stew? Could be
smoothie that
stew.
the last 10% is you get hit with a blueberry that didn't quite churn up, that's
You could
That's
choke
a
on
good
that.
That's a-
point.
yeah, that's
I wonder
a-
if it's.
And then,
I
and then
wonder
you're in
if it's.
California, so you're suing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you are suing.
Oh,
I
you're
wonder
getting
if that's
suits.
what happened.
Suits
That's what
from
happened.
California.
Somebody
Yeah.
was like, "This isn't a smoothie."
Yeah.
And some lawyer
This
was
is an
like,
episode
"We can
of-
exploit that."
This is an episode of Seinfeld, man.
Yeah.
It's like, my smoothie wasn't smooth enough. Oh my God. Shut
Or
up.
Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
Special smoothie unit.
Special. Yeah.
Smoothie victims unit.
Thank you very, very
Unexpected chunks, just like Gus's experience at E3.
Oh,
They were unexpected.
nice.
Tell that to the Uber driver.
Gus, take us away.
Sure, I will take your way to a far-off atoll of islands. Picture this.
Oh, jeez.
A far-off atoll of
That's what an
islands.
asshole is.
That's all it is. I played Dredge.
In
which-
4K.
In 4K.
Yeah, what was the resolution?
Wow.
Presented
Go
by
back to that.
BuriBuri.
I want to see the other settings.
Yeah, I checked out Dredge, which has come out for pretty much everything and is a delightful, wonderful, excellent game. I'm very, very happy I got to play this. This is by a New Zealand developer, and it pitches itself as a fishing adventure. And in the game, you basically...
With a sinister undercurrent.
It has a sinister undercurrent. There are depths to this that you must plunder. It really dredges up some foul thoughts, and I'm going to run out of another.
You already did.
Something salty.
Something salty. Yeah, Dredge is on the on.
Oh my god.
Thank
Too
you.
much. Too far.
Too far.
Why didn't they
You
get
play
that?
a seaman.
Why did they come
Where's
to my head?
Miles?
Yeah,
Salty
right.
something. Yeah. What's salty?
Dredge is a fishing adventure, and it's at the top level. It is a game where you play a fisherman who wakes up on.
that your boat?
That's my little boat. You wake up in this little harbour, little bay, and it's after your ship has run dry. Or
Well done.
guys, focus
listen.
up. Then we can talk.
Fishing's just so boring.
Very good. There's very good puns in the chat. That's all.
I'm sure they are. Brimming with enthusiasm. Excellent. You wake up as a fisherman at this island, and you have found out that your ship has been destroyed. The mayor of the town has given you a new ship. You need to pay that off, and you do so by heading out and fishing and filling up
turnips.
your hull and taking it back and selling it.
Hull? Oh, right, okay. I heard Hole. I'm just saying.
You don't fill your hull with fish.
Everyone heard Hole.
On
gotta
this show,
restart this whole segment.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Are we done?
No.
No.
Good honesty.
And you catch these fish by heading out to these little pockets of splashy areas of water. You kick off the...
What's going on with the tiles?
The tiles are your hull.
Hull.
I'll explain it all.
Oh yeah, no, okay, yeah, I wasn't listening. Sorry.
And once you get to these little areas to catch a fish, you kick off a little mini game. These mini games range as little single button presses, and then you catch the fish. You have to range them like the little suitcase in Resi 4 in your ship. Your whole
Inventory management.
in your inventory management before taking them back and selling them and using that money to pay off your ship to buy upgrades to increase the parts on your boat. Yep.
Is everyone that works on the boat deaf?
It's just you. It's just,
just
you. How would they be deaf?
Well, like, I thought this was based off of that Apple movie that won Coda, that won a lot of awards.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, that's
obscure.
Oh, I watched that.
It's a good film.
Yeah.
Great
We're
film.
off.
On other screens is a segment brought to us by...
No.
Okay, I mean,
it's just you.
Okay.
And these are some
Is
of
that
the
you?
people you meet. Raj?
sorry,
I know
I'm asking
you
too
knew.
many
I'm
questions.
just going to move that away.
I'll just sleep.
And as you pay off your ship and you upgrade it, you meet townsfolk, you meet people on different islands, and you will discover that there is a dark mystery happening because there is a very sort of dark Lovecraftian vibe to this whole thing. Outside of what is a beautiful daytime fishing simulator, there is undercurrents of evil, as you mentioned. There are some of the fish that you pull in are...
Evil?
Abhorrencies or something. They're messed up, twisted fish.
An evil petting zoo?
Evil fish. And then the mysteries start to unravel in terms of characters you meet will give you side quests. Those quests force you to explore outside of this little area, and you do that by upgrading and moving on from there. Now, the cool mechanic that is actually really interesting to lead into the horror side of things, but also into the time management and your fear management, is that when it gets dark, you are limited on where you can
Because we
move.
can't
Now,
quite see, but there's a
Yes,
time
now I'm
at the
gonna
top,
get to
time
that.
of day at the top of the screen.
Correct. Now, the fact is there's a day-night cycle, and when you kick off from the dock in the morning, it's 6 a.m. in the morning. As you move, time ticks down. If you choose to stay completely still, time won't move. If you're in your menus, time won't tick on. But as you move, time will count down, and when you fish, time will also count down, and that's why it's a mini game. If you fail at that mini game, you're penalized by time will continue, and you'll start to lose sunlight. If you catch yourselves out in the middle of the ocean while the sun has set, all of a sudden there's a mechanic that plays in, which is you'll see an eyeball at the top of the screen, and that represents your character or your sailor's sanity. And essentially, that eyeball starts to look a little worried. It starts looking around, thinking sun's setting, and getting a little worried.
It's getting very Moby Dick.
It is. And then the more you stay out in the dark, the less light you have around you, the more paranoid that eye will start to become. And you'll start to see things around that may not exist. You will start to attract monsters from the deep that will do damage to your ship. And you will eventually go into a mad panic. The coolest element of that actually takes place, which is parts of the land, rocks will appear that weren't there during the day.
Oh, I love that.
And you won't see them right up until you are about to sail straight into it, because there's this sort of little area of sight. And if you're just putting along, suddenly where you just know that there's a straight line to that lighthouse, suddenly a rock will be in front of you and you'll slam into it. You'll see ghost ships or ships that you think are friendly that just disappear. It does a really good job of kind of giving you this unsettling feeling if I shouldn't be out here.
But
this
also
late.
just you can say that you're paranoid in a video game, but how to representing that in a way that is effective is hard. The classic one is turning back and something's changed.
Yeah.
Sure.
A great game mechanic that tricks you.
A door moves and you're
yeah.
But yeah, literally sailing back and suddenly a rock was in front of me. I questioned. I was like, that wasn't there, was it? I was asking chat. I was like,
Sure.
I genuinely was doubting what I was seeing in front of
I
me.
really love a sanity mechanic because I love it also because you're so used to having to manage stamina, health, mana in Magic games. But a sanity kind of bar feels so out of your control and as you say, makes you question yourself in ways that have such a wonderful impact on the experience of the game.
And does that sanity bar affect the plot, the underlying plot with all the people that you're interacting with?
So all the characters you meet, or a lot of them, will have this kind of the end of the little dialogue tree you might have with them is they mutter off and slam the door, and you hear whispering from within the door, even though you hear multiple voices, even though they were alone. So the other characters, like the fishmonger and other characters like that, will already be kind of giving you hints of how things aren't right in this area. And I think if you choose to push on hard with the story, which is doing a lot of the main side quests, the main quests and side quests, you'll unravel a bit more. There is a big creature moving around in the deep water that I'm just too scared to get near. But basically, the game does sort of let you loose at one point. After you've done the tutorial and learned how to fish, you are sort of left to explore at your own whim. And I think what's interesting is that, like, there's a top-line game here, which is just a really lovely fishing sim, which has a beautiful palette and a wonderful aesthetic and great controls, and the inventory management, everything is done really well. You've got items that you can use, like a telescope that you can go and pre-look at the little splashes of water to work out which fish you want and if you've got the right gear to get that. There is actually, chat pointed out to me, I think there's like a relax mode that you can play with that I think turns off any damage and that just makes it all about the fishing. Nice. And again, that in a game as itself is fantastic. Is done perfectly. Would have been like a really solid 8. The fact that they have added this Lovecraftian mystery behind it all, which adds this fear of going out too far into the deep. I did a couple of runs where I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it. The sun has set. I'm starting to get paranoid. I'm hearing things around me, and I can just see this little light off in an island. I'm just fanging it to get there. It's a feeling I wasn't expecting of getting from a very sweet-looking indie game.
Look at the bones there.
And it makes it so, like, intriguing and compelling, because so many of these games are about just kind of experiencing the joy of living, you know, sort of mundane tasks and playing out a story. But this kind of adds a stress element as well as a kind of thrillery excitement to it that, and also just kind of wanting to know.
Well, that's it. It is how quickly they just go, there's a mystery out there, there are islands out there, how far are you willing to push the envelope?
But you could like go, I've had a really stressful night, I just want to go back, get dock, and then the next day I'm just going to fish normally.
Well, that's it. Like, at one point, you just need to make a lot of money to upgrade your ship, or you can choose to just focus on that, which means you are back before nightfall, you are just making money, you are just going to your regular fishing spots, and the upgrade mechanics and everything that you can tack onto your ship, including increasing the size of it, are really drip-feeding in a perfect way. It's like, I do want that engine to go a little faster because time won't go as fast. I can make further distance without losing as much daylight. And so that versus you can have a trawler that then just automatically picks up fish for you, so you don't have to worry about the mini game.
So the incremental progress is going to lead you to uncovering the mystery, which is the end.
It'll make it easier to uncover the mystery, I think. It'll make the challenge of exploring further out a lot easier. Because most of the quests you're getting are fetch quests. You need to explore. You get a lot of monks on islands who are whispering mad things like, bring me this certain type of fish. So it's like, that's just a fetch quest.
It's just a funny sentence. There's a lot of monks on islands.
So far, I've found 3 different types of monks asking for different fish. And apparently there's over 150 species of fish in the game, and it has a great little... Not only is... Well,
so it's like tapping into its Animal Crossing hooks. Where
It is. It totally is.
You want to find out the mystery, but also you want to catch all the fish.
You're like, I want to go to that island.
Put them in like an aquarium to put them in the tank back into
That'd be lovely. That would be good. But instead of just saying, there's an island over there, I wonder who's on it, it's like suddenly you see a different silhouette of a fish shape, and you're like, I haven't caught that one yet. What on earth is that? It's a sturgeon. It's a fucking sturgeon. I'm going after that. I don't have the deep sea lures. I'm going back. I have to make more money. And it does that great thing that these games do.
We're so fucking predictable, aren't we, as gamers? Like, it's just so ridiculous. Like, you can create the most
Pokemon, man.
The most complex, like, narratively, you know, deep thing in the world, but you show like an outline of a fish
that you can't get yet.
Fucking hell.
Or just a little dark shape in the water, and you've got a rod. You're
Get
like,
out of my way.
And again, that leads to that management system of going back to the docks and going, hang on, I need wood to upgrade my engine so I can go further, so I can get that fish, and then so I can have enough money to buy 2 more engine parts, so I can get the dredger, so I can actually get this mission. So it does that thing where it breaks down missions into multiple objectives that you then have to take a moment at the dock and go like, what is my objective here and how am I going to make this happen? Versus it's not just following a linear story and going, everything's pretty straightforward.
I really like that too, because it is totally like what you were saying, Raj, about being in the mood. When you have a game that kind of gives you the option of like, you can pursue this super stressful story element or the mystery and that kind of stuff. But you know what? If you're just in the mood for upgrading your boat and fishing today, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you do you. And that's what I think I love about a lot of survival games that I play, like in multiplayer, is there are times when we log on and we're like, okay, today we're going to defeat this boss and we're going to go to this place and we're going to die a bunch of times and there's going to be corpse run. And the other days where I'm just like, I'm rearranging carrots for like 4 hours. And I love that. I love that I can have both experiences in the one game and they are equally as valid.
Yeah.
Depending on my mood.
It's very pretty too.
It's a lovely looking game.
Really
and like the art style behind all the character art, The writing is really good. You even at one point, Steph, you'll love this. You find messages in bottles, which are fragments of people's stories of what's been happening
I
out
love
there.
that.
The first one I found was of a married couple who'd just gone on their honeymoon, and he's not acting right. Oh no! And you're just like, there's been
Because
something.
he's possessed, having an affair.
Well, think Lovecraftian. It's like he's going mad. I think I'm getting vibes, and things aren't going well. It's the Lovecraftian. It's psychological humor. It's unsettling madness. Sorry, humor? Horror.
Yeah.
It's all psychological horror, and so then getting that story, but in a different sequence.
Voiced or text?
No, it's all text.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I was enjoying reading out when I played it on stream, and yeah, it's great writing. It's all a lot of moody, mysterious kind of like dark humor, but also just dark writing, which I love. Has that vibe of Darkest Dungeons kind of thing as well.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, really, really good game. People are saying lovely things about it. I'm playing it on PC. I hear it runs great on Switch, and I feel like I might pick it up again on Switch and do another run there because it just feels like it runs really well on it apparently, and it looks perfect for the Switch. And I don't think it's a very long game. I think there's a lot to collect, but if you want to barrel through the story and I think get to sort of the what is at the bottom of the mystery, it's only about, I think, like a 6 or 7 hour game.
Okay,
nice.
I think people will then just turn around and be like, I'm just going to go and catch every type of fish there is. So
yeah.
yeah, it's great. It's getting great reviews too. So rip again.
Nice. Empty those oceans.
Empty those oceans.
Dredge.
That's a terrible tagline.
I did feel at one point I was fishing.
Terrible.
I was fishing every spot until the fish are gone. I'm like, overfishing's a thing these days. I don't feel great about this, but
what plastics are you leaving in the ocean?
You are the problem.
Yeah.
I really am.
So that's Dredge. Steph, you've been checking out another little atoll game.
Yeah, I had in my head I was going to repeat the same intro that Gus made, but I've already forgotten it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I got caught up in the mysteries of the bottles and the messages and the.
Well, allow me to talk over your intro and give you.
Talking of your intro.
You all were, all three of you.
That's true, we were. And it was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
I was
enjoyed it.
interacting with chat, the community that enjoy our show. Yes, I played Tchia, a beautiful indie action adventure game developed by Awaseb, which is an indie developer out of New Caledonia, and the game is inspired by New Caledonia. It's fictional, but it draws a lot of inspiration from the culture, from the mythology, from
gonna be a
the
9 or
landscape,
7.
the language. It is.
They had a baby.
It is absolutely gorgeous. You play the titular character of Tchia, who has to go on an adventure to try and save her father, who's been kidnapped. And it's just delightful. It is. I was kind of preparing myself for potentially, knowing that there's a small developer out of a country that is not known for making a lot of games, potentially, putting aside some ideas of this maybe not being as technically,
Polished,
as a lot of games are.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've played a lot of games like this where it's just, people trying to kind of get something off the ground. But it's incredibly well made. It controls beautifully. Everything about it just sings of the inspiration that it's taken from its location and the culture and the people who made it. It's just gorgeous. I can't recommend it enough. It's really interesting the way that they've kind of put themselves forward as, I suppose, creating a game that's an experience for you to interact with in as much or as little as you want to, because I feel like games like this often you're
because this is a sandbox, right? Like it's pretty open worldy and
yes, but you can pretty much skip any gameplay element, which is bizarre.
So it's more
like you can just interact with the narrative.
Yeah.
You can, yes, but it's like you can even skip that if you want to. Like if you just want to skip through this whole game, I guess you could. I don't know why.
So it's
you
a
would.
book.
No, it's like. It's almost like they've said, like, every aspect of this game is put in here for you to enjoy, but is not essential. Mm-hmm. So if you
There's
want
no
to
fail state, I think.
there's
It's
no fail state. No,
yeah.
if you want to skip this, you can. It'll give you a warning, being like, "Hey, there's important story stuff happening in this next segment. Are you sure you want to skip it?"
Sure.
But for the most part, like a lot of it is, music rhythm games with a lot of really beautiful cultural music that you're experiencing. A lot of it is, collecting items to create a beautiful food dish, a New Caledonian food dish.
Just got a slingshot, so you can go and kill stuff.
Yeah, but then there's also kind of action adventure-y stuff in there as well. There's was playing it on my laptop today, and Gus looked over my shoulder and was like, "Is that a boat?" It's like
He loves a boat.
you're on open water with a sail
It's a
up,
lovely
and Gus
looking
is like,
sailing mechanic.
"I'm intrigued."
I was intrigued to pick this up because, a big part of it is like the open world sailing of it. And I was like, it's good looking water physics.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like that because you can skip so much of it, it sounds like it's like, oh, it is just like a visual novel, or you're just like, no, it's totally action adventure, and there are elements of it that feel challenging in their own way. It's just that you can skip them if you want to.
Yeah.
So, this is a, obviously a little shooting challenge thing that you can participate in if you want to. But there's also the sailing of the ship is really manual. The map is entirely manual in that you aren't represented on the map.
Yep.
You have to look at landmarks.
Yeah.
You have to look at what you're close to and kind of orientate yourself that way, which is really great because it's not like a massive open world, and because it's islands, you can kind of generally judge by the body of water. Even someone like me who is so terrible at directions or, understanding my place in any given surroundings ever, I really enjoyed that challenge in this situation. We get so used to maps working in a certain way. I instantly was like, oh, I don't know where I am.
I have to work for this?
I have to work for this. And then as soon as I was doing it, I was like, oh, I fucking love this. It was great. There's a lot of, often there'll be like fetch quests and things that you have to do to go and get a certain number of items, but they're all exploratory. They're all really enjoyable. And it'll usually be an optional additional thing that you do so that you can go and, present a beautiful gift to the village chief who's going to help you with the next thing that you need to do. And there'll be some kind of, cultural storytelling element that will, enrich the story even more. And there's a lot of, I feel like, metaphors and things to do with, I guess, life in general, but also like in this specific location, at
Did you say, sorry, your father's missing or?
kidnapped.
Right.
Yeah. But there's kind of, it feels like part real world, part sort of mythological. I've only,
Sure.
played to a certain point. But
Did you get to the shape shifting stuff?
No, not yet.
Soul
Oh,
jumping or
sorry. Yes,
whatever?
I have. Yes, I have.
because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like a bit. That's
So
like
that's kind of part of the skip mechanic, where it's like
Yeah.
you can sail from this island to this island, but if you're kind
you
of
can be
over
a
it and you don't
dolphin.
want to, you can just kind of, because you can also pick up in nearly anything in the game and just put it in your backpack. So I was delighted when every animal you can interact with and pat and stuff. So I was like patting dolphins, patting dogs, and then I hit a button and it was like I picked up a bird
saw you walking around
above
with a
my
pig on your
head,
head,
yeah.
and there was an option to put it in my backpack. So I was like, okay. So then I was just like shoving all these animals in my backpack, and then you can like soul shift into any of those animals and just like be that animal for a bit if you want to.
And is that sort of like a part of like New Caledonian lore or like the?
I don't know if it's a part of New Caledonian lore, but it's definitely something that they've worked into the narrative of the game, that
Yeah,
it's
okay.
a power that you get.
Yep.
And there's a wonderful line in it, which I feel like is worth spoiling just because it was so delightful and speaks to a little bit of the humor. But she gets this power and this thing happens to her and she's like, what's happening? Is this puberty? And I was like, well done. Very good. And yeah, it's like, it was so hard to pull myself away from it. It just hits the right balance of enjoyment and challenge. And so often when games give you the option to like skip stuff or push through things, it feels like, oh, I'm there's no point to anything, but it doesn't feel like that at all. It invites you to interact with everything, but doesn't punish you if you don't want to participate in something.
It
So
looks like it's just so many things in a sandbox
yeah.
that you will find the thing that you want to do.
Yeah. But if you don't want to do it, then that's fine. And so like there's all of the music rhythm games are in varying difficulty, but they're all delightful and they're all beautifully, sung songs, everything is just voiced gorgeously and you feel the love in every element of it. I completed all of the music rhythm stuff, even though I'm terrible at music rhythm games.
Better
because
or worse than Last of Us 2 playing the guitar?
Well, people were posting videos of playing the Last of Us theme because
In
it
this
lets you
context,
play
it's better.
with that level of attention. So
Yeah, wow.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's
people have
sets itself up as one thing and I think story-wise is got something else going on under the surface. I can't say for sure because I haven't played enough of it, but there's a sequence, for example, where you need to go and speak to someone who is kind of a key player in helping you understand how to get your father back, and it sounds like there are kind
Skip
of
it.
like, well, some kind of like king in a fortress, and when you get there, it's like someone in a government bureaucracy thing, and you have to fill out a bunch of like paperwork, and it's all really confusing and overwhelming. And I think it's sort of speaking to the lived experience of people in a small island culture of trying to kind of get support and not being I don't know.
But doing it through the lens of a young child.
Give it the right way.
who's-
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's fantasy elements, but there are some like harsh realities that it's painting, through this lens.
Totally,
which is,
and it feels like it has a stronger kind of message that it's portraying through, what feels like a lighthearted narrative that I'm sure will expand, throughout the game. It's really beautiful.
Awesome.
It looks really. How big was the map? Out of interest, like you were navigating the open world. Or
It was kind of continually expanding, but it was kind of an archipelago thing. So because you have your little boat, you kind of sail between different locations, and so it just got bigger and bigger. But then again, because you don't have yourself represented on the map, it all felt big because I had no concept of where I was in relation to anything else. I was constantly just. But then there's also different things for you to collect and.
I think there's just a bunch of surprises around the space.
Surprises, and there is fast travel as well.
Yeah, okay.
People have
I
been drawing a
saw-
lot of comparisons to Breath of the Wild in the same level of freedom and kind of like connection with the land, being like, oh, it's the next sort of enjoyable way to just explore a landmass and not feel the pressure of it and find discovery in that kind of way that you don't often get in a world that's telling you to go to these points and there's markers and all that kind of
There
stuff.
were elements of it that were surprisingly manual, and then but in a non-tedious way, but it was all really beautifully polished and controlled well. Like maybe the jumping was a little bit floaty because there's some kind of platformy moments.
Yeah, okay.
But like it was only in a way that you're like, oh, I'm accounting for this because I understand that this is so I can cover large.
Yeah, did being in the
ground.
bodies of like a bird and a dog and a pig feel different, or were they just like
It's not.
You took the shape of it and you're a
can
bird,
Be,
so you can
it's
fly.
like prop night. You can be in a coconut if you want.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. But then, and then you roll around and like physics? Yeah, okay, yeah, cool.
You can kind of like slingshot yourself forward. So if you're a coconut, you can kind of shoot yourself off into the distance.
Yeah. That's how they kill so many people every year.
But it was also because I imagine that the
77.
devs kind of like, I imagine they would have been messing around in the engine and been like, what if you could just like, if we're going to really let people do whatever they want and skip whatever and just play this how they want to, what if we just let them be anything? And somebody would have been like,
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's
and
cool.
I like that. I like that idea. And it works.
That's Tchia.
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 PlayStation as well. Instead
PlayStation
of
and PC, yeah.
Interesting. It's not like you just automatically assume Xbox
Game Pass.
is
Yeah.
indie. This is
Yeah.
PC, PlayStation. It's,
Yeah,
it's different.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And Awaseb, the developer, Awaseb means it's all good.
It's all good, man. It's all good, man.
It's all good.
Breaking Bad. It's all connected. Oh my god. Raj,
Hello.
what have you been playing?
I have been playing a game called Citizen Sleeper, which didn't come out recently as such. Came out about a year ago, I think, May 2022. But recently the DLC has come out for it and is all completely available on Game Pass, which is why that's on my mind. And this is on pretty much everything else, including Mac, which isn't on the screen, and I feel very disappointed for my Apple.
A Macintosh is a personal computer.
And it's not been called a Macintosh since the 90s.
A Macintosh.
But it is available on the Mac.
There you go.
So is Inscription,
There it is.
which I've also was playing as well. But
Josh.
Citizen Sleeper is, oh man, it is so hard to describe this game. It is like Disco Elysium with
Which is
more,
not an easy game to describe either.
no, with more reading and a daytime control mechanic. That's wound in with dice and energy management. It's an RPG on an RPG in a text-based adventure.
Yep.
This screen, it kind of explains it well. So up the top, you've got, there's a little thing cut off on the very top, which is your
right.
condition. And there's a whole bunch of like segments. And in each cycle or day, you lose one of those segments. And then you've got dice underneath, which are essentially the actions that you can do within a day.
Are the actions related to the bar underneath?
No, that is your energy, which
Okay,
you
right.
lose 2 of those a day. So you've got to play this like keep your condition up, keep your energy up.
Yep.
And if your condition goes down, you get less dice. So if it goes down halfway, you only
sure.
have 3
Yeah,
dice.
okay.
If it goes down all the way, you only have 1 dice. And if they both leave at the end, then you basically fail state type of thing. But the story is based. You are Citizen Sleeper, and you are this digital clone of a human being that's implanted into a robot, which is basically there to do menial labor. So you're not even the real consciousness of a person. You are being cloned from a person and put into this robot, and you've escaped from the corporation world where you were working in a container ship, and you've gone to this eye in space.
So sorry, the
clone consciousness
in a robot have escaped the shitty job that you were working at the corpo.
Yep.
And now you're on the ship.
And you're trying to survive on this. Thank you for adding in, Mac. Good work.
Yeah.
And you're trying to survive on this world, and you have all of these energy management systems because your body is basically there to work, and if you don't, and you're not maintained with drugs, and essentially it degrades and your consciousness is lost.
Yeah.
So you wind up on this space station, and this one guy finds you and he's like, hey, help us out doing some salvage work and I'll give you a place to stay. And the way you do things is putting the dice into these challenges which are on the screen at the moment. So if I want to do hull dissection, I put my 4 dice in. That means that I've got a pretty good chance of it succeeding.
Yep.
If I want to take a chance that I might not, then I can put a 1 in there.
And is it a dice? Is it literally a dice roll? You're going, I'm going to roll for a 1 and 6 on it?
The ones you get each day. So it's you deciding, like, out of the 5 that I get, if I've got all my condition, which ones are more important tasks for me to spend those on.
Yeah, right.
But sorry, I was asking, like, you said you have a better chance of working if you put a higher number dice.
Yeah, so you can
dice
still
in?
fail. So I could put a 5 in there, and there's a very, very small chance that I'll fail.
Do you know if it's like literally doing a dice roll and it's saying you
no,
could
not
get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
It explains like a percentage.
The die are
Yeah, sure.
pre-rolled.
Yeah. So the die are pre-rolled.
Sure.
But when you place that dice
Awesome.
in the spot, that 1 still might succeed. But it's got a 90% chance of failing.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Whereas a 5 would have an 80% of succeeding or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's always a chance of failure, but a failure doesn't mean that you fail the task completely. You kind of have to fill up these segments, and then multiple dice go into a task to fill up the quadrants in the circle around them. It's very mechanic heavy and text heavy to get into, but once you're in, man, this thing fucking hooks you in. I played this for 5.5 hours straight
This
on
is a lot of
Sunday.
people's game of the year last year.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And like my partner, she was cooking dinner at one point, and she's just looking over at me, and she's like, "Are you even playing this thing?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like I'm reading everything that's going on, and I literally want to read everything that happens. So you do this little task. But this guy gives you a place to stay. Then that connects to, go over to where all of these other people are and try to make new friends. They ask you to do things for them, or then you're trying to help out get off the space station. So you're trying to build stuff, and you need there's a skill tree in there as well. So you've got to build up different skills to do different tasks or be more successful at doing those tasks.
And this is all happening, like, as you said, in blocks of text, or like there's a little bit of an overmap that you get that's kind of like, but these are your tasks each day. It's not really, it is a visual novel in the sense that, like, you're getting some like cool elements and some artwork, but you're not really like moving into space or in.
Definitely
like,
not. No. So you choose which tasks you want to do by navigating through this ring, which you can rotate on a like top-down 3D sort of view. This is like a zoomed-in view on the left-hand side here. And when you click on a task, you go through these narration or dialogue trees. You have a few choices now and then, but they don't really affect the outcome as such. You're more just finding out what the task is that you want to do for someone to then get drugs to live. Like this person, Sabine, is one of the doctors. She will give you the drugs that you need to restore your condition, but that costs 80 chits, which is a crypto, of course. And you earn chits by doing small tasks for other people, right?
Yeah, right.
It was developed during crypto times. When it was all
Crypto time.
What a funny way to date your game
Totally.
accidentally.
And then you're navigating through this ring by sort of like scrolling the wheel around. It has the worst controller mechanic I have ever seen for navigating that wheel. It is terrible on controller.
What were you playing this on?
Xbox on Game Pass. It was awful.
Funny.
Yeah, this definitely seems like a clicky
Yeah.
game to me.
much easier to be on a PC or Mac.
Or
Switch would be good with the touch.
I assumed you were playing this on a Mac because you were so
No, because it's free on Game Pass.
sure.
So, and that doesn't extend to the Mac, of course. But yeah, look, it doesn't navigate great in that world. You figure out how to get around it, and you use the D-pad more than the sticks and stuff like that. But it's totally fine.
And you're playing. Sorry, so this game came out last year. People played it, loved it.
Yep.
You've played that. And
No, I've never played it. So
Oh,
I've
okay,
never
right.
played
So
it.
you're
at all
running through it
before.
and the DLC,
first time,
and the
and the
DLC is
DLC
just
all combined.
launched.
Yeah.
what
Right.
inspired you to play it? The DLC
It's
come out
free on
and
Game.
It's free on Game Pass.
on
Yeah,
Game Pass.
I feel like a shield for
But
that.
when the DLC came out, where you're like, oh man, I've been meaning.
If I'm going to be brutally honest, Steph, I had 3 full starts at what game I was going to play this week.
Really?
Or two full starts, sorry,
pressure.
and then this one.
And then
So I played another game called Pineapple on a Pizza,
yeah,
which was phenomenal, but literally takes you 5 minutes to play.
Yeah, fair.
free on
Right?
Steam. Pineapple
Free
Pizza.
on Steam.
Yep.
It is amazing.
Can you give me a quick
So take the graphics from the from Tchia that you were playing.
cheer? Yeah.
Tchia, sorry, and a bunch of island. It's an island with people on the
You had
island.
another island game
Yeah,
that
yeah.
joined us
Yeah.
in the boat.
Small
I know.
boat with a sail?
And you no sails. You don't go off the island, but you just
Sorry,
sort of
guys.
walk around. Everyone dances on the island to a tune that repeats non-stop,
Interesting.
and you need to stop that tune playing.
That's the goal of the game.
That is the goal.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, it doesn't even tell you that.
Interesting.
It
Yeah,
doesn't-
okay.
You just kind of figure it out because you
'Cause
go
you're annoyed
bonkers
by it.
after about 35 seconds.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
And
I'm sold.
It is great. It's free. Like there is no reason you should not play that. And then I also tried Nino Kuni 2, which no, that's
Never
not for
stood
me.
up
Not
next
for
to
me.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original.
More like
That's-
no.
yeah.
Citizens like so I should touch on. So you use the dice. The day ends. You then have to sleep and then restart the day, and you get new dice rolls, and that's how the sort of day mechanics. But then people are coming to hunt you down because you've escaped. So you've got certain time periods when they're going to come. There's a bounty hunter. You have to work against them and figure all these things out. It's sort of like this time management mechanic plus skill trees plus.
Is it called Citizen Sleeper because you are like a sleeper agent pretending to be a citizen?
No, that's what they call the people with the consciousness put in a digital
they
copy
s-
of their sleepers.
are they-
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very,
They're
very
very much
cool.
awake.
Yeah. One person made this game out of the UK. A phenomenal effort. It's really, really incredible. It's a lot of reading though. I think if there was another step on top to add some audio in, like same as what Disco Elysium
Yeah,
did,
the
right? They
voice
always did the
acting
full
and
voice
everything.
acting.
Yep.
It would take it to a whole new level, but I just don't understand why I'm so into it.
No, I think
I want to keep playing it.
I think
Yeah.
it was picking up such traction last year, and then the fact that it was on Game Pass, a lot of people who wouldn't, I think, usually have the energy to go, I'll skip that. We're diving into it, and then realizing all of a sudden that
Yeah.
the narrative in there was amazing. That
Yeah.
yes, there's a
Yeah.
lot of text and mechanics and things to get through.
It sounds like all the character interactions you become super emotionally invested in, and
Yeah.
that seems to be a big hook for people.
I read something quickly about the developer over the weekend, and it was they created it whilst working, I think, for like a delivery company or some sort of gig economy thing, and that is the game. You are a gig economy worker for all of these people on the space
right.
station to make life to survive.
They've just taken what they're experiencing.
You're
and
doing
put it-
little
Yeah.
deliveries. You're paying for the bills. You're doing babysitting. You're
Yeah.
fixing, doing repairs. You're
Getting to know people in
Getting
these
to-
like
yeah.
specific scenarios, and
It's like the dude delivering to the whale in the movie The Whale.
Yeah.
You are that to all of these characters on the space station. It's
Yeah.
really well done.
Yeah, cool. I've been meaning to check it out and haven't had just the impetus to.
It
but
has a dense kind of approach to go.
Totally.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's just I'm diving into a book again.
yeah.
Yeah, you need that. You need to be in the headspace. for that.
it's more than that though. I feel like as someone who struggles with like attentiveness, like a book I can immerse myself in, but it's almost like when I sit down to play a video game, it's like the disruption of breaking up reading with gameplay is like I can't get into a zone of
either thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of get frustrated by that. It needs to kind of be like I'm fully in one or the other.
The gameplay's secondary, like to the narrative.
seems-
Yeah,
Yeah.
and looks like it's really like basic input stuff as opposed to gameplay.
It's like, lock this stuff in and now let me enjoy more of the story.
If I think about Pentiment, which is very much a narrative game, but it's still, I'm choosing to run to the next screen and I'm going to go and I'm going to go and interact with some other stuff. It's more, there's more gameplay even in a Pentiment than there is in a Citizen Sleeper. So maybe you'd find Citizen Sleeper is just about, it's basically turning the page to the next piece of information. Is
or
dropping that dice into the right spot.
And then being like, cool.
So what were you saying was difficult to control with a controller?
Oh, just like when you're choosing which spot that you want to go to who to talk to.
Yeah,
that can be a bit annoying because you've got to kind of rotate the camera to the right to get to something over on the left. You can use the D-pad to sort of cycle through them though, but you've still got to rotate the space. The station to get to that section.
Sounds unfortunate that it's a cool donut style, design thing, and then they haven't thought about the fact that if you need to move it, they're like, oh, here's something.
Yeah, on a touchscreen, I assume on Switch it'd just be like, swipe, I've rotated it, click on this, bang. Like it'd be so much easier.
Yeah, you make a lot of assumptions about the functionality of a Switch though, and it always disappoints.
Everything that should have a touchpad.
But on PC, it looks a lot better. With
I'm sure it's harder to implement than.
But there are games that should have touchpad controls that just choose not to have them when it has it, and you're like, that's great.
I forgot that the Switch was a touchscreen because nothing uses it.
Do it.
Yeah, cool. Citizen Sleeper, all the DLC out. So that's the game. That's it.
Yeah,
that's
or that could be you sleeping whilst you're playing it after about 30 minutes. Just
Stephanie Sleeper.
Yeah.
I checked out a game that's come out today, which is Road 96 Mile Zero, which is a prequel to Road 96, which I think was also last year. Maybe it was the year before. But whichever year it came out, it was one of my games of that year. Road 96 was a road trip game where children were trying to escape the oppression of this town, this kind of city of Petria, which is this really like there's a massive socioeconomic divide where the elite really crushed the lower class, and all the kids are trying to escape the town or the city or the area to live a better life. Mile Zero jumps back a few years, and you play as Zoe, who's one of the characters you meet in Road 96, and their friend in it is
a character from another game that people love.
Yes, Kaito, from Always on High or something I haven't played and I don't recognize them.
Something Harmony or like something like that. Yeah,
that was not intentionally made next to this original game. Like, is it like?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think it's just like another kid,
but by the same developer.
Yeah.
It's like another game by the same
so
developer
they kind of
that
brought
was
some ideas
equally
together.
loved but unrelated, and it's like now it's a meeting
choice.
of a crossing over of franchises.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is it a country? I guess it's a country. It's kind of like the USSR is how it's portrayed. It's a state, and it is like there's some Russian propaganda stuff. Road 96 was brilliant because of kind of the survival mechanics of it, the gauges that you needed to make sure were still full in order to keep your journey going. And then there were people that you were interacting with who were really off-putting and dangerous, and you were making decisions based on not only the mechanics of it, but also the characters and the fear, and it just became this brilliant.
And you weren't ever, I know you're mentioning this is still based around some characters in it, but you weren't one single character in the original, were you?
You were a character at a time. You were individuals.
That was the idea. So it's like,
but there weren't that many characters. It was, you knew every character intimately, and Zoe was one of the characters.
You weren't riding a skateboard on a
Rainbow
road.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't.
Why are you now?
I asked the same question. So you're back a few years. The big terrorist event had happened still, but the kids aren't really, they've just there's this murmuring of, hey, we should make a break to the border and try and get across ourselves. So you are Zoe, who you find out in Road 96 is the daughter of one of the oil barons, like one of the rich high-level government people. And Kaito is from one of the lower socioeconomic groups and is interacting with some of the characters that you meet in Road 96 as well. So there's these beautiful moments where you see the worlds colliding, the stories kind of like the pieces of the story coming together. But the gameplay is, so far, beats of these two hanging out in their hideout together and having a friendship. And that stuff is brilliant, and that stuff is reminiscent of Road 96. And then you go and jump into kind of other parts of the city that you're in and engage with other characters. Big propaganda setup stage. The kind of the looming element of this game is that there's a sandstorm coming through, and the people that live in Shitsville are going to get totally rolled by this sandstorm that's coming through, and the people that live in the wealthy parts of town don't really care. It's not a big deal for them. They're actually, all their energy and focus is going into the next propaganda speech by officials, government officials. And so the point of the story is that these two kids from these two worlds interact every time a story beat happens, and you see the perspective shift. The point of it is the conversation between two innocents in this who are born into this world and their perspective on it all. You can make choices and they impact the end of the game. There really is only one way to play it logically as any modern human from a Western country. You're going, fuck the oppressive government. But you can lean into, oh, no, this character Zoe is into, I'm born with my stature and that's where I want to stay. And
I'm Ivanka Trump.
I'm a Trump.
Yeah.
And within all of that,
is these and that's the voice as well. And then you go and you have those interactions with those characters that set up the next kind of political debate discussion, and then you escape it by roller skating or skateboarding through these kind of endless runner sequences.
jungle run.
Are they happening in your mind?
Yeah, they're kind of they're heightened reality moments.
Okay.
They're still dressed in the
situation
space that
you
you
were
were
in, or the
Yeah.
Like, it might be that a character who was hounding you becomes gigantic and starts chasing you through it. And they're pretty well executed, but they suck. They're not fun.
Yeah.
They're not the point of Road 96.
Yeah.
And it really is a
They're
struggle
very at
for me.
odds with how, narrative focused and I don't want to say serious, but it's dealing with heavy stuff, and then to sort of, I get that they're doing it in a stylized manner, but it also just feels like, I don't know, we're all looking at this going like, this is undercutting the
And it's not undercutting it, because Road 96 has heaps of humor in it as well, and heaps of mini games and distractions, and it's and the stories revolve around children, and they get to express themselves by having fun in different scenarios. But these mechanically are just so uninteresting.
Yeah.
And
right.
they're not punishing, because
It's like
they're really
conceptually,
what
it's not a problem. It's just that they're not fun to play.
Yeah, it's just so.
It's like they found the source code
Nothing.
to Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say this feels like game jammy stuff where someone's like, "I've made this thing. Could we put that in there?" And someone's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I don't
again,
know,
it's not like they're particularly half baked, but they're not.
Yeah.
This studio isn't a mechanics studio.
Yeah.
They're a story and an idea studio, and it goes from being story and ideas to, hey, here's some mechanics, and the mechanics suck.
But again, that's the thing
they
I
were
think I was getting
trying.
at by
Yeah.
saying that I think I feel like just from appearance it undercuts the story, because it makes it go like, here are some mechanics and here's something that's just like that is intrinsically video gamey, and that's, as you said, not handled particularly well, and then gives you a score at the end of it. That I feel like in between those moments we were watching before, that felt like they were.
It'd be like if this was in Life is Strange.
Yeah.
You suddenly put
it's
on rails.
It feels like it's is this trying to keep you interested in it from a video game standpoint, so you then can power through the rest of the narrative stuff?
I cannot for the life of me work out what the justification for
The
it is.
scores doesn't.
It is
mean
it is a
anything, or-
worse game for it. The scores don't mean anything. You can just replay them, because they're like, if you had fun with that, have another crack and try and 100% it. And it's like,
right.
But that's what I
No.
mean. It feels like it's not confident enough in the other game, or the story it's telling through this stuff, to go, here's this other game we've just tacked onto the side of it.
this is a
essentially.
$15 prequel.
Yeah.
I would prefer this to be an hour than the 3 hours
just-
that it is.
and just be this
and
stuff?
ditch the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's not interesting at all. Whereas this is as great as Road 96. And I think if you like Road 96, I believe you can totally skip out on all the skating stuff.
Okay. That's good.
So that's what
wonder-
I'm going to do going forward. But
wonder
I've
too
played
if
through a
it's
few
like
of them. Like, I'm trying to work out. They're interesting because the story element is interacting with them each time, but that's the only. Yeah, that's pointless.
I wonder if this is like a publisher thing where they make something and then it's like some kind of big wig in a suit. It's like, there's not enough video game in this.
You know what my kids like? Jungle Run.
Yeah.
Can you make a Jungle Run? And it's like,
Yeah.
look, that might have been the
Kids
way it
like
happened.
skateboards.
Yeah, or it looks like a mobile game attached to a prequel game as well. Like, I mean, not
Yeah.
just mobile and Jungle Run, but it looks mechanically, it didn't look particularly smooth and very well polished outside of
Temple Run?
Temple
Temple
Run.
Run, yeah,
Thank
yeah.
Oh,
you.
I thought
Yeah.
that was the joke. I thought you were being the old guy. Who was
Yeah, let's say
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
joke.
Got it right.
like, yeah.
I'm the old guy.
But it didn't even look. It looked janky, like how
Yeah.
it plays.
Yeah, it works, but it's not fun. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they chose to do that, but I am interested in playing through the rest of it and ignoring that part of the game because, again, the story is interesting and the way that the characters from the original are passing through the life of these two kids is exciting to me every time I see them. Like, oh my god, it's that character, and the characters in Road 96 are so strong that just seeing them on screen is like a beam of light. I'm like, oh my god.
Nice.
So I'm excited to play more of that. But that's what we've been playing this week. I played Road 96. What is it called?
Mile Zero.
Mile Zero.
Zero.
Route
Yeah.
Zero, Mile Zero, something zero.
You
Close
never know
enough.
the name of anything.
Skating, zero.
Zero.
Please. We had some Dredge.
Spooky fish game.
We had some Citizen Sleeper.
Talkie
Disco
robot game.
Elysium Nova.
Yep. And we had some
Tchia.
Tchia. So yeah, that's what we've been playing this week. What have you been playing? Let us know in the comments. We'll be back after this ad break.
I'm sorry.
Mussolini is back and is on a war pouring. Luckily, recruitment kennels have been set up everywhere to show those humans that a good dog's bark is far better than a kitty's bite. So, join the JEP today, the Joyfully Enlisted Paw Patrol. Whether you're a pooch in training, or you're already on the job, become the hound Her Majesty needs you to be in the JEPP. Why, look, it's the Amphibious Light Infantry 2nd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment. But of course, we just call them the Wet Rats of the Brook. They may look like a soft touch, but rest assured, they can wrestle with the best of them. That's a good boy. But it's not all work and no play. You'll be belly up in a good way with our program of R&R. That's running and, yes, you guessed it, more running. Touchdown, little fella.
I originally founded the Joyfully Enlisted Paw Patrol unit so that every pup would have the chance to show leadership and loyalty, rise to the rank of top dog, and have a big stretch. Aww.
Here at the JEP, we teach old dogs new tricks. So, say bow wow to meow meow and make sure Kitty knows that it's Mutt who's man's best friend. The JEPP. Sit, stay, sign up today.
Round one is going to be Mr. Mime. Let's see your Mr. Mime, please. If you just flick that around. Oh my god.
That's what I saw.
Can we see what Mr. Mime should look like? That's what the that's Chad Mime.
Is that Zavala from
It's Zavala, Mr.
But
Mime.
you've nailed the hair. Like, you've somehow captured the essence of him, but in this kind of chiseled babe version.
It's like, yeah,
So,
it's if he was real.
Yeah, I mean,
This is how I like to think Ash's mum sees it.
Gus, can you compete?
No, not to that.
Innovation. Automation. placeholder text. Hi, I'm Junior Vice President Reese Wild, and today I'm here to tell you about our latest artificial technology product, BackPCT. BackPCT uses the latest in pseudo-random phase accelerated digital intermodular. I'm not reading that. BackPCT has the capabilities to kind of answer any question you have, such as, when is the Back Pocket Thursday show?
Friday?
Close enough. If you would like to see BackPCT in action for a video game variety show, just keep watching.
Welcome back, said normally and not with a funny voice, which is taking a lot of energy these days. Because every time I got to say it, I almost say it in that voice. And I feel like if we make that a thing, I'm never going to be able to stop doing it.
It's so fucking funny, though.
It's fun to say as well. Try it
But
at
it's
home.
only funny because it came out of him in a way that was unexpected.
Welcome back.
Welcome
Yeah.
back.
And it scared
And you
him
could
too.
see the sort of the
Like
shock
it
on his
surprised
face.
him.
Like a
Yeah,
small
it
dog
surprised
farting
him.
and waking itself up, it surprised
That's
him.
perfect.
Little
That's
Will.
exactly
That's
what
the
it
kind
was.
of energy
That's
it gave.
exactly what it was, Gus.
Nailed
it.
But welcome back, everyone, from that ad break. We had a lovely little ad break there, and we saw words from $1 Daz and a new one there from Reese, implying some kind of new chat GPT. It feels like there's
terrifying.
It feels like there's an ongoing series there, and knowing Reese, there's probably something to follow there. But yep, it seems like Pockety. I do appreciate a Pockety done in DALL-E or whatever the AI thing is. We've done it a few times. We've written like a sentient denim Pockety, and the things it creates are a fucking abomination. They do not look
It's
healthy.
like the first iteration of Sonic from the movie.
with the teeth. That's the healthiest one we saw. And we also saw an ad for Jep there. Jep's Dog Army. Sign up today. Sit, stay, heal. I've forgotten what the motto was. I wasn't here.
Sit, stay,
Sign up today. There we
Said
go.
sign up today first at 3.
So thank you, Jep, as well, for
boy.
being an ongoing sponsor. And we saw one of the socials there. So if you're not following us, go check out Back Pocket vids on everything. There's hilarious little cut downs. Ben did another one today that's going out tomorrow. And it's also hilarious and it has me pooping my pants a little bit. What am I talking about? Go follow Back Pocket vids and find out tomorrow.
Highbrow humor.
It's highbrow stuff.
It's only poo jokes and
Welcome back.
Welcome back. That's the best stuff we got this year, and it's going
all
on
we got,
merch. It'll go on merch at some point.
Where's the Logie?
Exactly. The Logie for new and upcoming interesting creative content will be given to us for a new segment that's coming up right now, because we thought in the wake
Not a
of
new segment.
a new segment,
What?
2 weeks in a
Another
row
one.
with a new
Holy
segment
shit.
that we just pulled out of our ass at the last minute. You better believe it, because in the wake of E3, rip E3, and in I was gonna say in honor of you, in memory,
I'll fill
in
it
honor
out. That's all right.
of having Raj, king of cancel culture, with us here this week.
That's a weird
Yeah,
title.
it's a weird title.
To a dark
I'm not okay.
Well, then you're gonna love this title card, because it's a segment we're calling cancelled culture, pop culture.
The music does not match the subtext.
I'm keeping things happy.
It's light.
Sure.
Keep it light.
light.
Because it's
Yeah.
cancelled pop
Yeah.
culture. And what this segment is things that have been cancelled, like E3. And we thought using the E3 template, we might come up with a segment where what we're going to do is we're going to get everyone here, well, you guys, not myself, to get up there and spruik some cancelled gaming media. Because a lot of stuff has come out and, has been announced, but not come out in the past, let's say 20 years.
That's
Games
that's
that were
our
promised.
definition of cancelled for this, right? Is like things that have been announced.
We're using
but
the
not
literal
come
sense
out.
that it didn't make it to completion.
Right.
It was cancelled
I get it.
before release.
Right.
That's where we're going with
Sponsored by
this.
MiddleCee, guys.
Release. That's
So what
why
was that?
this is your segment.
Yes.
sponsored by MiddleCee.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
He
I was just
was,
explaining the cancelled nature of it so people didn't all sign off before we got to the segment.
Before we got to
Fair,
MiddleCee.
fair.
Before we got to
Fair.
Middle C. Someone who hasn't been
The C
cancelled
stands for cancelled.
is Middle C. Thank you for sponsoring the segment, Middle C. And as is tradition, when we have a segment sponsored by Middle C, I read out the lyrics of a song in the key of C. That's hard to say. Try it at home yourself.
KFC.
Not C of Key, which I was
Sea of
dredging
Thieves?
earlier. Not the Sea of Thieves either, that we were looting the booty. The C. Damn it, the Key of C. It's really hard to do. So,
the booty.
here we go. I'm going to read some lyrics, one line at a
yeah.
time. First one to buzz in, shout their name, you play along at home, and see if you can recognize this song. Turning back.
That's it.
She just laughs.
Peter.
Stop! No, you can't. I had it.
I'm not going.
I
I'm not
had
going.
it,
I'm not going.
But
I'm
I
not going.
literally was like,
You go. You go.
I have it, and you can't have it.
Okay. You go.
Okay.
Turning back, she just laughs.
The
Tune she
Boulevard.
knows the song she hums.
The Boulevard is not
Damn
that
it.
bad. Piano Man, he makes his stand.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer.
Spot on. Tiny
That's the
Dancer by
one.
the one, the only Elton John.
Amazing.
You know that song was like. That song was like. Obviously, it was Elton John and it was reasonably popular, but it was almost famous that brought it into like.
Sure
The
was.
kind of current lexicon of everyone.
yeah.
It wasn't.
Huge
It wasn't a
resurgence.
single off. I think it was
Really?
Mad Men off Across the Water, but it wasn't.
okay.
It wasn't a single.
Wasn't as popular back
Yeah.
then. My parents love
Kate
it.
Hudson
and they don't know
dancing
that
in
movie.
the gym with the streamers.
I
It's
know,
great.
but my parents
Iconic.
love that song, and they've never seen that film. So I think it had a bit of it. Must
Oh,
have had
it
a
was
bit of-
Elton John. It was.
Yeah.
fucking,
Yeah,
it was
it's
the
an
biggest
Elton John
album of the
classic.
year.
But it wasn't like pop culture, like
Yeah, okay.
known in the way that it is now
Fair
until
enough.
that movie.
Well, there you go. Thank you, MiddleCee, again for sponsoring this segment. Hopefully, you're still happy with the sponsorship at the end of this. I'll try. Okay, next time I'll pick a specifically non-Peter song if I can find one. It's hard to do.
There are no songs.
Yeah.
I'll pick some.
Oh no, if
You
you
can do
choose
Tay-Tay.
some trap
like anything,
music.
anything.
Oh, I know, all trap.
Anything modern.
I'll go for that.
Unless it's Doja Cat. 'Cause
Unless
I got
it's,
that too.
fucking
unless it's a
love
Dua
Doja
Lipa.
Cat.
Fucking Doja Cat. Dua Lipa?
Yeah, Dua Lipa.
Dua
Yeah.
Lipa.
Do it, Marshmallow.
Do
Yep.
it.
Jeez, got to do something in C.
Do Marshmallow songs have lyrics?
Yeah,
we'll just do
it.
it.
It's okay.
Cancelled pop culture. Okay. How to-
Before we start, guys,
Please.
Peter,
Yes,
can
mate.
you do me a quick favor and replace the battery in the camera?
Oh, yeah,
Oh no! Well, while Peter does that, I will explain the rules of how to play cancelled pop culture. So what's happening is in memory of E3 that we learned recently has been cancelled. You're each going to run a couple of press conference style stage presentations. The classic part of E3 we mentioned before. We stand up on stage, you have something behind you, and you have to spruik it to the audience. You have to sell it with
Yeah.
all your passion and
Get them
gusto that you
excited
can.
about-
Exactly, you got to hype people up. Now that thing will have been cancelled, but you don't know that at this stage. You're up there, you're selling it with every bit of passion you have
As
for
if
the
it's
industry.
coming out
Damn right.
in Q4 of 2023.
Yeah. The twist is that the thing not only has been cancelled, but you won't see what it is. You have no idea what this piece of gaming, history is. But we will. So we're going to actually be seeing it up on the big screen behind you while you guys stand on the podium and flail around wildly to try and kill time and show that you know the product you're
Sounds
selling.
like some technical wizardry at work.
It does, or we're going to avatar the shit out of this segment. You better believe it. Is this segment an excuse to just do some green screen shit? Yeah, it kind of is. But that's fine. Luckily, these are tech rehearsals. So it's not actually, the live audience hasn't been funneled in yet. You're just doing a tech rehearsal, and I'll be here, side of stage, with a couple of notes, a couple of hints, a couple of clues to help you just along if things are going, if you're floundering
Sure,
around a little bit.
right.
So
Director.
I'll direct you with a couple of key bits of information. But if you can, pick what.
We want to keep riffing.
Yeah.
We want to keep
away.
the audience on their toes. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you can title drop and maybe pick the game that's up there or the piece of gaming media that's up there before I've gotten to the end of my clues, brownie points for you. Well done.
I
Pat
love
on the
brownies.
hat. Pat on the head. Free hat.
What are brownie points spent on?
Brownies?
Just brownies?
Just brownies?
Is that all you can get with brownie points?
Oh, I think it's a. Is it a Girl Guide
Girl Guide?
reference?
It feels.
Brownies?
Yeah.
I think you get brownie points for doing certain stuff, and
You
then
get a badge.
and then yeah,
Trade
your
in the
points
brownie
in
points for
and you get a
badges.
badge. Trade the badges in.
I can't eat a badge.
Can't eat a badge.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'll take brown. Well, I could, but I wouldn't.
Hey, let's
digest
save
well.
this stalling for when you're up on the big stage,
All right,
shall
all
we?
right.
So, Peter, you're first up.
Okay.
So, Peter, why don't you head to the E3, the cancelled E3 main stage, which is just over that direction. It's not Peggle 2. You don't have Peggle 2. That's far too obvious. I wouldn't give you that. And let's welcome onto the stage of cancelled pop culture our first presenter, Peter Burns, ladies and gentlemen.
Middo said, "I love this Who's Line segment," and Warpstone says, "I feel like this might be a Nicrotex game, but but just changed enough."
I think we can say this looks far better than
Excuse me,
Who's
a lot
Line.
of people have done this. So
Not this way.
Yeah, true.
This is a theatre sports 101.
Yeah, exactly. So, Peter Burns, if you'd like to just start your presentation now, and we'll cue up some of the audio-visual elements behind you, mainly just visual, no audio.
Yep.
And can you tell us a little bit about this shooter that was announced in 2011?
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us here at this year's presentation for Shooters Anonymous.
God.
This game is not going to remain anonymous for so long because this shooter here is the greatest shooter that you will see this week at the Shooters Anonymous conference. what we've got here are all the best modern guns of 2006.
Well, not quite the guns yet. This is more of a home setting before things spiral.
Yeah.
A home setting before things spiral.
Can you tell us a little bit about the?
Tell us about her.
What's the setting?
Yeah, so of course the setting is in is rural America, and you pick up the modern weapon and head on out to the farm to shoot the fox that was trying to harass your sheep.
Well, let's just remind you that your team leader is a former Navy SEAL who believes ethics are irrelevant.
Ethics are irrelevant.
Yeah.
And who here doesn't believe that ethics are irrelevant here at the Shooters Convention of 2006? Thank you very much. That one played well with the crowd.
Gosh.
So, of course, this here on the home front, too. Damn it.
There's probably a few more moral and ethical decisions that you and your team need to make in this title.
Absolutely. This is a game of consequence. This is a game of taking a gun to the meeting of consequence and shooting the consequence right in the brow.
Hopefully.
And
this is taking place in New York?
New York City.
The
big
Country
gun
New York
apple.
City.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're out here in New York City, flaunting the gun stuff and making those important decisions, what you're really going to want to focus on is how cold it is.
Probably not. Yeah. You might want to mention the terrorist organization that you're up against, the New Patriots. Do you want to talk about them?
Jack Ryan. Our Navy SEAL, former Navy SEAL. No.
That's the team. They're a colourful team, all sorts of colours, every colour in the rainbow.
It's Rainbow Six Patriots.
Correct.
Welcome to New York City. Go shoot your friends.
Rainbow Six Patriots, which was cancelled in 2014. Boo, get on the stage. Excellent. All right, Peter, if you want to come back down. And Steph, head up to the main stage. I hear your name. Whoa. But well done. The Shooters Conference is a bit concerning. It was the Shooters wing of E3.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Oh, we at E3?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Cancelled E3.
I should have known that before I went up, I think.
Let's welcome to the stage our second presenter for this cancelled E3. And everyone, a big round of applause for Steph Bendixson. She makes her way out. There she is. Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Steph. Do you just want to go through some of the talking points of your action RPG that was announced in 2013?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here today to bring you this presentation of a game that I am super excited to release this year. You know I love a great fantasy title like this one, filled with all of the lore and mythology of, Central Europe. And or other places.
Sure. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the main character?
The main character.
Can you tell us about Drew?
Is a fantastic guy called Drew who has amnesia and needs to fight his way through a series of dungeons.
Probably.
In an open world fantasy setting where he has magic powers.
Yes, and he's not alone.
No, of course not. Because where would he be without his dog?
I mean, it's a strange type. Tell us a little bit about Thurbin, his partner.
What the fuck? Yes, Thurbin. His partner.
Well, the fact that Drew can turn into Thurbin if he needs to.
Yes, who is a bird that lives in his backpack, obviously. Is a horse that he rides into battle. Is a dragon. Yay! Okay, yeah. So Thurbin, a dragon that he rides across the landscape. And Thurbin, is a fire-breathing dragon that roasts people on command. And they chat. They have a dialogue, and Thurbin has witty quips and stuff, and is often chatting. And you'll love that because everyone loves dragons that have one line.
And the world Draconis or Draconis, the world. Tell us a bit about that.
Draconis. Wow. It's a dragon-based world full of other dragons. And there's just various different dragons that you can romance as well. Both as Drew and as Thermitage.
But you can do this. It's
In a polyamorous relationship.
You probably could with other people because the tell people about the four.
It's an MMO. It's a
four-player cooperative.
It's a 4-player co-op
Yep.
action RPG that you can play with friends, and you're all on the backs of dragons, which is amazing because when you're all flying around in there, you're having a great time, and you're breathing fire and stuff.
It's probably a bit too ambitious, some might say.
Yeah, maybe. Because when you're breathing fire against other players in the game, because there's PvP elements.
There might be, but we're struggling to get that working at the moment. So
Oh, sure. Okay.
yeah.
So maybe there'll be PvP. We're just back and forth with the devs, just kind of figuring out what's possible. But we're so excited about this game,
which is
called
Very scaly.
Dragons of Draconia.
It's a working title for the big scaly creatures that you're
Dragonlands.
that you're like you both you're connected. You're bound to each other.
yeah.
You're the scaly
Dragon
creatures.
bound.
Correct. Dragon bound.
Scalebound.
Sorry.
Scalebound.
So close.
Even I forgot.
Enjoy coming this summer, 2023.
It was cancelled in 2017. Sorry about that.
Bam.
But well
Well
presented,
done.
Stephanie
Well done.
Bendixson.
Well done. Well done.
I believed it.
The headphones. The guy.
The guy,
Fantasy.
Drew, you're right. You can talk back in.
Fantasy world.
Drew
flying
just
around on dragons.
had like Beats
Beats
headphones.
headphones,
The main character. That game had a lot of that game was pretty far through development. Microsoft pulled the pin on it.
Yeah.
Afterward, they showed a huge gameplay segment of it at E3, and unfortunately, Platinum were working on it, and they had to pull the pin. But yeah. Yeah, a weird look, a very ambitious looking game, particularly with the multiplayer. So that was the thing that apparently broke its back.
Big push to get like the Xbox One into Japan.
Yeah. So that was all the talks that were happening there, and then eventually Microsoft just said, "No, we're saying no." But Raj, we're saying yes to you because you're getting up on the stage.
Yay!
So,
Now's your
head around there.
time to spruik a game that will never come out.
Well, if there's someone who knows how to cancel the game, it's this man. So please welcome onto the stage our third speaker to present their game. Raj, everybody.
So excited. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Excellent.
Welcome to this magnificent spectacle where we'll be showing off the latest wizardry. Not since Milo have you seen something so fantastic as what we're about to see.
The action game that was announced all the way back in 2002, Raj.
2002.
It's been in development for a while.
Years of my 20s where this game is revolutionizing the space of action shooters.
Yes.
Sure
Well,
is.
it's giving us a new perspective on a world that we've seen before, but from a new viewpoint.
It is a new viewpoint, straight down the barrel of the gun, just like I'm looking at you right now down the camera lens.
And of course, you use some things to get around that world, but particularly a lot of stealth, a lot of camouflage. Talk about the cloaking.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of cloaking. It's like you... There's a lot of cloaking. Let me tell you, my friend, you will never have been cloaked like you've been cloaked in this game. All right?
Do you want another hint?
And, stealth mechanics, we've got them all.
Can you tell me a bit about what platform this game is on?
This game is available on Mac. Always on the Mac.
Only Mac.
I'm going to say we also do Xbox.
Potentially. I mean, I would love to see the character of Nova on all those platforms, but she seems like a great character. What can you tell us about her?
Nova, she's my favorite character for stealth. I really like her when we have a stealthy setting and Nova goes from one place to the other without people seeing her move. It's one of the greatest mechanics of the game.
Particularly, as I said, we've only usually seen her from top down, but now, as you said, straight down the barrel. Gamers are frothing to see this game. Like, it's been one that for a long time people have said, I'm happy to be in this world, the sort of space sci-fi world. Tell us a bit about the world.
Oh, well, it's sci-fi, but it's based in reality in a sci-fi setting.
Sure.
You see it through the barrel or the lens of her view for the first time from space, which allows the player to be fully immersed in the world like never before.
And it's terrifying in that world because you're up against the Zerg, so they're pretty scary. So tell us more about them and that challenge.
The Zerg. The Zerg are terrible. They're like those little green guys in Toy Story that you pull out of a machine.
Yeah.
Well, Well, I mean, they're en masse. They're like, and people are.
Yeah, there's a rush. There's
Yeah.
a rush of Zerg.
There's a lot of Zerg often, but
And whilst you could get it on Mac and PC, we might release it on a phone.
I don't think that's ambitious, but it could happen like
But
that. I mean,
2002, this is the age of the Nokia, my friend. We can do anything.
maybe not
We're
this.
putting it on a phone.
I think not when the core people who love the original RTS game on PC are thinking this is a more console experience of a much loved star-based.
No, look, I get it. It's StarCraft, Gus. All right?
okay.
I know it's StarCraft. I'm with
said
you.
Zerg.
I'm already there. But what I'm saying is you would never experience it like you have right now.
Totally.
I don't know which StarCraft it might be.
Yeah.
StarCraft Nova?
Yeah,
maybe?
close enough.
Yeah.
Nova, which was she moves in the shadows a bit in cloaks like a ghost.
And it's like a third-person perspective.
Yeah, because it's
Sure.
got
Yeah.
had its StarCraft Ghost.
Yeah. Oh, StarCraft Ghost. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. And
So
you should
stealthy.
buy it now. Pre-orders get you exclusive content.
Exactly, but unfortunately it only went for 3 years and then was cancelled in 2005. So you tried.
The shrug leave.
Come on back over. I mean, that's one of the biggest ones that everyone, was upset about. That game was in development hell for a long time. Oh, well, there we go. Sorry. I thought I'd go with an older one for a more refined gentleman.
Yeah.
StarCraft, sure. but-
StarCraft Ghost was the third-person action game that was gonna
Ghosts?
Ghost. I had singular, but
I thought it was plural. I thought it was
Might have been
plural.
Ghost. That's
But yeah, it was at the time that it got cancelled. I remember there being a lot of talk about how Blizzard were that's when everyone adored Blizzard, and people still adore their games and for good reason. But when StarCraft Ghost got cancelled, it was at the height of Blizzard hype,
Yeah.
and people just saw them going, we're only ever going to release a perfect product.
Yeah.
And so for them to shut down a StarCraft project that people were already excited about, and they're like, it doesn't live up to our internal kind of standards.
And looking at the footage now, I know you couldn't see it, but it does look like a kind of hodgepodge of Splinter Cell meets, every third-person over-the-shoulder shooter that was out at that time.
Yeah.
And it was gonna do damage to the brand. I
It's
think.
so hard because you've often been saying like it's interesting that we don't see more genre crossover within certain popular IP. Like why isn't there a League of Legends?
Well, there's a League of Legends everything now.
Now there is.
Sure, but with
totally.
certain genres, it's like why or
That's
certain IP aren't they doing
pre-StarCraft
that?
2 as well, right? That came
Yeah.
out
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
This was their attempt at doing that, but it was
Yeah.
obviously just a bit too ambitious for them at the time to be.
StarCraft 2 is available on Mac.
Sure is.
At release.
Speaking of ambitious, you've each got another game to go, so we'll get up there quickly and let's skip the introductions because we're losing time in the theater. So we're just
League
gonna.
of Legends Farming Simulator. I would play that.
There
Loki
we go.
Cat.
Let's move on. Peter's back, everyone. Skip the applause, everyone. Let's just barrel on with his the next title that he's going to talk about because it's an interactive experience that was announced in 2009.
It absolutely is. Thank you so much for having me back, guys. I was just over at the Shooters Convention. They're all horrible. They're all horrible over there. I'm so glad to be here at E3.
It's a much
to
more
talk
wholesome
about
thing.
this. Sorry?
Sorry, yes. It's for a much more wholesome product.
Yeah, this is a much more wholesome product than guns. This here is one of the most exciting virtual experiences you can have outside of sex toys, simulated sex.
Oh god.
Wow.
Because this is not that. This isn't simulated sex.
This is
You are
I would say the other
So
direction.
far
Completely
away.
the other direction. So this is codename Dimitri, obviously.
Yeah, obviously codename Dimitri. No one out there named Dimitri's having sex anytime soon. So that's why we went with codename Dimitri for this. Clearly the antithesis
good.
of a sexual virtual
Let's
experience.
steer away from
And-
sex.
Because is it Milo? Yeah. I mean, I got there by going really hard in the wrong direction. What a sweet young man we have in Milo. It's really just a pleasure to have his cold dead eyes on my screen when I wake up in the morning and when I go to bed at night. There
I
he
can't
is
believe I'm
watching.
saying this, but it would have been better if Peter Molyneux had presented this himself.
Yeah, but we got Peter Burns, unfortunately. But he nailed it in one, so well done, Peter. Off
Thank
the
you,
stage.
mate.
Good job.
Milo, never coming out. Sorry.
Of course, Project Milo was cancelled in 2011. It was going to be tied to Project Natal, which was obviously later then called the Connect. And it was a Molyneux, it was of Molyneux ambition, which meant it was like it had all sorts of things in that demo that just were never going to happen. He passed her a piece of paper that she took out of the back of the TV, or vice versa, which just made no sense. Molyneux was the biggest challenge for us is convincing people that what we're doing is actually going to work. It's going to reach a new audience. It's going to be an idea that people love. It'd have an in-game store, and it would rely on procedural generation systems in which it's constantly updating its inbuilt dictionary.
He's a visionary. Like, you got to
Yeah,
give him that.
visionary.
Like, come on.
Don't get me
He's
wrong.
trying stuff. He's trying
But
stuff.
holy hell, that was.
And he never
way
went down
off.
he never went down the sex direction of it, which is probably for the best.
He also just like he's a visionary that just needed so like desperately to be held in check.
Yes.
And it was hard to do.
Reined
that.
in by
once
people who
Once
go
he found
like-
even a little bit of success, people were just like, oh.
Yeah, man.
It's like
He gave us Fable.
SimCity, mate. Will
Wright.
who did
yeah.
Spore or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
God, that was
Which
a
was
mess.
like looked ambitious,
Oh, I
and
haven't
then it was a
no,
mess
that
to
wasn't
play.
cancelled.
It was on Mac. It was on Mac for a while.
It was on Mac.
Ah, exclusively on
Of course it was.
Of course it was. Steph, do you want to jump back up?
The
You've got
best
another game
platform.
to spruik to our audience. But this one is a horror game that was announced in 2012. So this was a horror game that had lofty ambitions as well. Hop on stage. Tell us a little bit about this horror game from 2012.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me back. Especially after the embarrassment of my previous presentation. But I'm really excited to change your minds today with what I'm offering to you. And that is the thrilling, gripping horror experience of this third-person action.
Could be, wouldn't know. But it's the ninth game in the series. That's pretty good.
The 9th game in the series, and we've released gameplay footage.
No.
The cinematics
Correct.
though look
Yeah.
incredible. So yeah, we've been working hard on those cinematics. So I'm excited to show you more of the world and the story and the ghosts.
Potentially. Tell us a little bit about how the co-development with the famous Mexican film director.
What?
Tell us a bit about the co-development with the famous Mexican film director.
Yes. Well, because we've been trying to figure out how to tell a really good story, and oh my gosh, this is triggering something in my brain actually, and I can't remember what it is. We've been trying to kind of figure out a way to tell a really interesting story that will grab people in a way like they've never experienced in a video game before. So we turned to film. And we looked at famous horror films like Teenage Chainsaw, Blood Rain,
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth, which I would say is more of an art house film than a horror, really.
Giving you a clue here. Come on.
Pinocchio is probably more horror filled.
Yeah.
That's true. But
Yeah.
obviously working with that and having a visionary create this
Hellboy.
game, a visionary who was quoted as saying, I'm kind of a scaredy cat when it comes to horror movies. I'm not confident I can do this when it came to making this game, which is a bit of a mixed message from your creator.
I feel like you're banking a lot on me having read all the articles that you've read. And I don't know any of that
It's
stuff.
a really good demo.
I've already got a time on the tech.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
it was released with
it's a horror game that is the 9th game in a series. So it's a Resident Evil that didn't come out.
It's close to
Oh,
that, but
it's
the
good.
playable
Silent
demo.
Hill that didn't come out.
It sure is.
sure is.
Yeah, it was so misty, but we didn't put enough mist in it. So
We didn't put enough hills in it because it was Silent
Meadow.
Hills. Oh, it was plural.
Meadow is correct.
Silent Meadow,
Silent Plateau.
which was cancelled in 2015, only 3 years after it was announced. Well done, Steph.
Good shuffle. Good shuffle.
Well done.
Shuffle.
Good shuffle.
Awkward shuffle off stage.
Lovely. Great job. Silent Hills.
Yeah, Silent Hills, the playable demo PT, which did
PT,
really
yeah.
well.
Yep.
And did better than the game, which was going to have.
it was PT.
PT.
Well,
the demo.
PT was
the
the
demo.
demo.
Yeah.
And so it's Kojima with Del Toro and Norman Reedus.
And the last
Yeah.
clue was Norman Reedus
So this
was
is the
going to
thing
be in
with
it.
the hallways.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah,
was.
Oh, we should talk about the fucking hallways.
Well, PT isn't Silent Hills. It was just a technical demo.
Proof of concept.
Yeah.
And so they released that. It did well, and then unfortunately, Kojima left Konami, and that meant they severed ties because they held the license for Silent Hill.
Yeah,
And
and
they were like, "Well, we won't let you make that."
Obviously,
game.
the cascade effect of that moment where Kojima left Konami, the devastating moment, unfortunately led to games like Death Stranding existing.
How else would we find our strand?
And, well, Norman Reedus had a contract, so
Corporate
he had to
Bridges.
show it
You
somewhere.
You got to put Norman Reedus in something,
Yeah.
as the age-old saying goes. And Raj, if you want to jump up and do your final presentation, you'll be talking about a gritty action game that was announced in 2013 based on a very successful franchise that's still successful to this day. So can you tell us a little bit about this gritty, dark 2013 third-person action game?
Gritty, dark, third person.
Those are my words. You got to come up with new ones.
It's a fantastic, revolutionary idea to put a third-person shooter that is gritty into the world. For 2013, this is an amazing achievement of what we've done.
Like a
here
handsome
today.
parrot. And of course, the
I'm
story.
a shill. This is what I do, right?
and the story focusing around an iconic character, but in their youth.
Holy hell, what the? So the Muppet Babies making a return in correlation with Jason Segel's film Muppet film.
Owned by the same company. So you're on to something there.
Right, Disney literally owned the table
Yeah, well
that I'm
done.
leaning against.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean a lot. Could be Star Wars at that point. It could be...
Well, the game is in danger of being released before the companies behind the franchise is acquired on a large-scale buyout. So for the time that was 2013, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
Holy
It does
heck.
look very spacey.
Yes, it's. I like doing things in space or stealth, as we found out earlier. And 2013 is no different to 2002 for me.
It's an interesting number, that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we're going full Star Wars, and we're going with Kathleen Kennedy in 1313.
All
Correct.
right.
Star
Nice
Wars
one.
1313.
Which I will say, and I didn't know that was the game, obviously, but is one of my most disappointing cancellations.
Yep.
ever.
Yeah.
for a
There's
lot of
a lot
people.
of that in the chat right now, for sure.
That's,
He
yeah,
walks
sure.
off
That's so beautiful to watch you say that in front of it.
And then walk
Yeah.
off stage with your head bowed, like, and that's it. But yeah,
the Michael said.
Star Wars 1313. You're right, you walked through.
Well done, Raj.
Well done. Was going to follow the story of Boba Fett in his younger days on Coruscant, and
Was it
going to
Boba
be.
Fett?
It
I
was.
didn't know that either.
I think that was
I thought
like.
it was just some random.
I think that's
dude.
what it was going to be, and then they got George Lucas involved because it hadn't been sold yet. And George Lucas is like, "Oh, let's make it about Boba Fett."
It looked
Everyone
like
loves him.
it was the naughty dog of Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Amy Hennig, I think, was writing it. She'd come
Amy
across-
Hennig, not Kathleen.
Yeah.
She's
Kathleen
Kathleen's
Kennedy was there.
Yeah. Amy Hennig is the one that I was thinking
Yeah.
of with
Yeah.
the writing. But
But that one looked amazing, and that full gameplay trailer, it's still on YouTube.
Oh, it's
obviously,
awesome.
like watch it. It's
Yeah,
like,
it looks
this
sick.
would have been really
that
cool.
that was one of the last E3s I went to when they showed that.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it was, and it was. They were worried it was going to be too.
Sorry.
No, that they were worried it was going to be too dark and gritty for like a kids franchise. They're like, no, this has to be
Yeah,
and
friendly
look what they've
happy.
done.
And
look what they've done
to
since.
it now. Look what they
Andor's
did
the
to
only
me.
decent thing
Andor
they've
had-
done.
Damn right. All right. Speed lightning round for the last one. Pete,
Okay,
get up there.
there's more?
There's 3 quick ones to go through here.
Oh,
So
I thought we only had 2.
yeah, potentially.
Oh my
Peter,
goodness.
tell me about this thing that was announced in 2018, but always required an online internet connection.
This right here is the future. You will be experiencing this thing for a decade, maybe longer. And what you really need to know about this thing is that you need to be online. And aren't we always online anyway? Don't we all have phones?
Fuck yes! Said it right at that time.
Is it Diablo 4? No. Diablo phone thing?
No.
Was it Immortal?
No.
Just
works well.
Sorry. The working title for this was Diablo Immortal, but then Blizzard sent us a cease and desist, so we pivoted to something else. And I will tell you what that is very soon.
Explain the subscription model to me.
So once you subscribe to this beautiful, shining beacon of entertainment, you'll realize that being always online and being subscribed is the key to satisfaction. Satisfaction not only in the joy that it will bring you, but satisfaction in that it will nourish your soul.
Well, it'll do that by providing you with potentially peripherals as well.
What? You
So
get peripherals with
much
it.
entertainment.
So much entertainment, but not only for US customers.
With the peripherals that you will get with your subscription, you will be able to do such things as play with friends.
Yeah, and you can
Yes.
watch their screen, and you can watch their screen as a pip while you're playing yours. That's pretty cool.
Netflix family sharing is something that we all love at home, and that's why this features similar things.
I'm actually surprised this company didn't get into the gaming space sooner, personally.
Yeah. But again, I think releasing it just with a controller, I don't think is that's not enough to be like,
Sure.
this is a big enough step into gaming. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of ambition there, but I don't think they ever had enough when it comes to, I guess, calling it a library.
They made it really hard to get the games on there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this the KFC console?
Google never made that.
Google! Oh, poor sweet Google and their Stadia. Get into it.
It doesn't stop with your TV.
It doesn't stop with the TV. It was, of
Stop with the
course,
TV.
Google Stadia. That was Google Stadia was cancelled in 2021, so not long ago, 2 years ago. Okay, speed round, Steph. You're up for the last one. But very, very well done, Pete. Yeah, Stadia is a weird one. It's like,
I wish it was a KFC console now that I said it. That thing was amazing.
Steph, yours was announced back in 2006 and created by an Australian studio. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, hi guys. Thanks for having me back. Really hoping for a win here. So please come with me on a journey.
Please.
As we visit the immersive world, the immersive, gritty, action-filled
Neon-filled.
world of the futuristic cyberpunk adventure.
It does kind of look like a robot.
It does a bit. But obviously, like...
I mean, she knows it's not a game,
So
right?
More
we're
about
taking
learning
you
than
on today.
adventuring.
it's more about learning about games than
This
playing them.
fantastic console title, PC game.
Could have been watched on a console, I think. The director was quoted as saying this was an immersive challenge, but it was great fun.
Yes, because we're not talking about games today. We are talking about a TV show. And it is a show that you will enjoy because it is based on a popular video game franchise that you all love.
No,
Many.
there was a
It
book,
certainly
I think.
features popular video game franchises
Yeah.
frequently.
It holds the record of the highest number of downloads on its platform.
Sure does. It
Yeah.
is a music video for a League of Legends character that I love.
Not quite.
It is
Tell us
a-
about how the title was inspired by a popular video gaming phrase.
Leroy Jenkins was a character from World of Warcraft that rushed into battle and inspired millions.
Could have been,
And
but
Look at your shirt.
also tell us about the spin-off shows. It had a lot of popular spin-offs.
What
It's short.
rating would you give it?
It's very adult.
This was the adult one, yeah, but there were spin-offs. There were,
There was a
it
children's
branched out.
version as
There was a
well.
children's version, I think, too.
I think there were ping pong balls with the children's version, were there? Nice.
They were.
Oh shit. Wow. Okay. What a great show. This would be so great if it was still around. But a true pillar of Australian
Damn
cultural
right.
gaming entertainment, and was so much better when that girl joined.
Damn
God,
right.
she was awesome. Everyone thought she was gonna ruin the show, but she left and then it was over. Anyway, that's my presentation. Bye.
She's now on a soapbox. Done in 2017, that one, but much loved by everyone still here. Well done,
Much
Steph.
loved.
Well done indeed. Raj, final one, get up there. See if you can top that. The footage just worked perfectly as you gestured over to yourself. And
What was
it? Just you and Marge.
It was just the start of an episode.
Am I just pulling the plug on this thing? Is that how we go? Is that?
Well, this was only announced in 2020, so it's recent.
Oh, okay.
But give it a go. And so tell us a
2020.
little bit about this and why and how this got cancelled.
All I can hear is laughing from the back corner. Sorry, what was that?
This was announced in 2020. It has a total of 4 main characters you can select.
4 main characters you can select in 2020. You could choose between the oddball goofy guy,
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah, who else?
the super straight nerdy one,
Yeah.
Sure. Who else?
Super
the
straight.
sporty guy.
Yeah. And finally,
hang on, it's not Jumanji.
Close.
It's not Jumanji.
It's not Jumanji.
it has optional multiplayer with drop-in, drop-out slots during timed events.
Drop in, drop out. Yep, you can do that if you want to. Drop in, drop timed events, just like
Other characters can drop in at different times. Each, different weeks they can drop in.
different weeks.
Yeah.
It's just like Destiny, but it hasn't been cancelled. I mean, but this one has been cancelled.
Tell us a bit about how it's short runs, just 2 hours usually is all it takes to complete it.
2 hours. That's all the time you need. Or I would be more than happy with 2 hours playing this.
Would you spend time that 2 hours in experiencing that yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I want to immerse. I want to be immersive. Is the buzzword? We've all figured that out, right?
Yeah.
I want to be in VR in this thing.
No, I totally. The reviews of it have been outwardly positive. And the title refers to its return to screens along with its funding method.
Return to screens along with its funding method. What the hell is this thing? I have no idea. Return to screens. It's like bringing back Temptation Island in VR.
I reckon
Sure.
that's. I reckon
Yeah,
that
I
is
can
a
see
good
that. It's sexy.
summation of-
It's sexy as. I think we
Yeah.
go with that. And
It gets. I would say it gets even sexier towards the end.
yeah, there's a bit at the end of it that's even sexier.
What the?
It's like it runs after the main campaign. There's a little short. It's just for. It's an exclusive sexy bit right at the end of it.
Oh, okay, I get it. All right, it's Big Brother.
It's evenings with hot dogs.
Evenings with hot dogs.
It's 0055. It's back pocket.
It's something. Yes,
Sure
it is
is.
back pocket.
Sure
You're
is.
immersed in yourself.
You,
Not cancelled just yet.
You appropriately said, "Am I cancelling this thing?" As you said that.
Well done. Back pocket, yet to be cancelled, I have written here. So we'll
far.
see how we go after a segment like that. But well done, everyone. You all did very well.
Well done, Gus.
Some
That was
really
well put together.
Thank you kindly. That was a segment called Cancelled Pop Culture. Called there. So smooth up until that point.
So
I love
smooth.
the Barbie flick on the Twitter feed there. That's
On the little feed.
Yeah, very
Nice.
current.
Segment that has been cancelled itself. You'll never see that segment ever again. But what you will see now is a second ad break. Enjoy.
Sick of being seen? Camo. Want to hide in plain sight? Camo. Want to spy on a deer? Camo. Want to shoot those deer? Camo. Want to get close enough to a pack of deer that you could dress up as a deer, gradually earn their trust, become accepted as one of their own, wait until the stag dies and inherit alpha control, guide that deer herd for a decade until you are their most celebrated deer elder, and then shoot that deer and mount it on a fucking wall? Camo. Camo camping equipment. You've seen the rest, now try and find the best. You can't, because it's camo.
received! The Back Pocket Game Plan is here, just in time. Lilith Bland is determined to become a great magician one day and Grim Grimoire once more. EA Sports Hey! Watch it! EA Sports PGA Tour is out this week. And so is Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition. With arms wide open! As different Creed? Sure. Under the sunlight. User-generated maps are at the heart of this building and rating FPS meet your maker. Road 96 Mile Zero gives us more Zoe plus Kato from Lost Harmony. Batora Lost Haven has given us hack and slash plus twin-stick shooter action and puzzles. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. Curse of the Sea Rats describes itself as a Ratroidvania style game. You can't just do that. You can't just make up your own genre with a random animal to start. Or can you? That's it. So go on, tell me what you're playing.
We are almost out of words from our sponsors, which is one of the specific tiers we have on the Patreon.
I think the issue is like a sense of pressure that it has to meet a certain standard. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't.
Not enough pressure. Maybe you need us to put the pressure on to lay it on thick.
Sense of pressure. Sense of pressure. Sense of pressure.
Pressure.
Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure. Pressure.
A sense of pressure. Oh, welcome back to the show. Thank you so much to Camo. We saw his ad in there. Fantastic work on those ads. They're just a joy, a little slice of joy. And we're putting them out on social media now, which is nice.
Yeah.
So that more people can experience.
Not that one, though, because Disney might sue us for using the Bambi footage.
Sure.
Bang!
I like it because I feel like for people, including our industry peers who don't really know what it is we do on this show, it just makes it
They can see those things
more of a mystery.
I was going to say, that does nothing to help.
What the fuck do they do over there?
What are they doing? We also had words from our sponsors from Melon Wayne King Fast and ToxyChog. Thank you so much for sending those in. And you can send in a word from our sponsor at any point. Just do it.
We'll play it. We'll play anything.
We'll play it on the show.
We'll play
anything.
We'll play out of copyright Disney characters, such as Winnie the Pooh and Steamboat Willie.
It is, the criteria is theme a video around a word, and it can be as conceptual or weird or straight-laced as you like. But it's a little slice of joy for us as well as our audience. So please do that. We also saw a bit of the game plan.
Yeah.
So the whole thing.
Well, we saw the whole game plan. Yeah, it's a video we put out each week that it gives you a list of all the games that are coming out in that week, which is useful for you and your friends. So share them around. And it's sponsored by A. Timothy. Game plan is made possible by A. Timothy. Thank you so much, A. Timothy. And since A. Timothy is the Patreon supporter that makes the game plan possible, we figured we'd ask him which game he was interested in from that list. And he said, "Screw your list," and he gave us a completely different game to shout out.
He's never been about the list.
He never has.
No. Never been about the list.
He's a rebel.
Yeah.
Does his own thing.
He lives on his own calendar.
Yeah. A. Timothy has requested
Gregorian this.
has requested that we shout out Wall World, which is a little indie mining roguelite game with tower defense elements, and that came out this morning.
There you go.
Holy shit, his finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
More than I.
Yeah. He said it was
more
in
than Mile Zero or whatever that game was that came out today. think you got things going?
Yeah.
Timothy's
He's got your number.
He's got my number.
He's got your number.
But thank you so much to A. Timothy for making the game plan possible. And we are very grateful for your patronage. We're now going to move on to very good gameplay.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Look at those
Second,
thumbs.
is
this a little segment that we like to call?
It's a little segment. It's a little
Medium-sized
segment.
It's a little meaty segment for the end of the show.
Yeah. It can be chunky or small, depending on how much fun we're having. And very good gameplay is sponsored by Nicrotex.
Sure is.
Community hot boy Nicrotex. And every week we like to read out a tweet from Nicrotex. So I like to think that Nicrotex is just hoarding tweets and putting them out there. Just waiting for us
It's
to
a lot
read
of
them.
pressure. As Toxichalk puts it.
Pressure.
Through Gus.
Pressure.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Which one's this?
Pressure.
Toxichalk.
Pressure.
Yeah.
Gus is 3 steps
Why am I
behind.
creating
He
pressure?
just wasn't listening.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's okay.
It is that.
Well, I like to think that this tweet is kind of like a teaser for a broader story. Like it is the first of a thread of 25 tweets.
I think 26 total.
26 total tweets.
Can
Too
you
many
tweet
tweets.
longer? You can't use that.
You can use tweet longer.
Can't you use like 4 million characters on Twitter now? Like, why do you need threads?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, good clickbait.
I think it's
clickbait.
like people like things being divided up into bite-sized chunks.
It's like it's swiping through a TikTok of stories of like a narrative.
Yeah.
Like you can upload longer stories now, but on Instagram, but you still people put them up in chunks because then once you skip past it, then you're
gone.
forced to keep watching.
We're verticalizing and fragmenting our stories.
Ridiculous. So Nicrotex's tweet reads thus.
1 of 26.
So for the past few months, I've been hunting down weirdness with Coastal Cities PC, and last night, I think we solved it. This is a long, wild ride. ...
Weirdness is in
but also
something.
then /1.
/1.
And
you
weirdness
know
is
it's
in
going
something
for a
was
while.
weird with the PC.
Which implies that he has written out an essay and divided them up into sections.
Numbered them himself.
So that he could number them.
Because
Should
the
have
first time I
gone to
heard
Dream
that,
PC.
the first time I heard that, I thought they were just both sitting there on their PC being like, let's look up some weirdness. And this is a really messed up story.
Let's go on a wild ride.
Let's go on a wild ride.
Let's go to cakefarts.com.
Oh, God.
Just live blog this journey.
But you know what? I think, I know the few times that I have ever solved something tech related, Twitter is the first place I go to tell people because it is so satisfying and it's like shouting into a void when you
It's
when you
shouting on the
solve
top
that.
of a mountain, and then you look around you, and there's millions of mountains with everyone else shouting as well.
Totally. But you know what?
I've turned it on and off again.
Other nerds get it. And thank Christ for every forum that I've ever gone to where someone has shared an error code and the solution, or there's a thread that has oh my gosh, so good.
This is how developers live. It's
Yeah.
called Stack Overflow. If that website did not exist, nothing would get
Nothing
programmed
would
in
happen.
the world.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah.
for very good gameplay, we were playing Filthy Animals Heist Simulator. It's a chaotic multiplayer heist game for 1 to 4 players. Become a mutant animal working for criminal mastermind. As you steal, fight, fall over, and eat tacos while trying to make off with the loot. You can also solve puzzles, avoid enemies, and bumble your way to victory. Yeah, filthy animal.
So what we've seen in this game is that it is Overcookedy meets Gang Beastie, but it is mission based. So we're gonna have to not just
Cause chaos. We
make
need to-
things together.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have to go.
There is a narrative we skipped past a little bit. Can we just pull our attention to the fact that we have 4 animal characters or humanoid animal characters and just
Danny
Danny
DeVito.
DeVito in the corner in a string vest? Just
Yeah, by the way, oh, my light's gone.
Peter, can you change the battery in his
No,
light?
it's okay. I
does
was
look
just going to say the guy on the far right there is
doing
exactly
it.
how I dance.
Yeah.
That's a Josh dance.
That's
a
a
groovy
Josh
dance.
boogie.
That's it.
Nice.
The Josh wedding dance.
It's like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but you're wearing animal costumes.
totally is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there is a tutorial that we went through, and did we learn much? We learned something. I think we learned
we
most
know
of
how
the
to pick
controls.
stuff
But
up.
yeah, there's some serious gang-based vibes.
We can run,
so-
we can punch.
The
We're gonna-
controls are interesting.
Yep.
The button
Yeah.
layout is interesting.
So our objectives here, while the tutorial they were to do a couple of different tasks, our objective here is just cash. So it's the more cash we get out with, the better. One
Yep.
star for 50.
So we're gonna go and rob a supermart.
Supermart.
Oh, super.
Optional objectives:
Oui,
eat
oui.
8 tacos, smash all the safes, and collect the letters filthy.
Keep the
yeah.
change, you filthy animal.
All right.
All right, if everyone wants to pick a character, I'm going to be the crocodile or alligator.
Wait, which one? Am I?
Interior,
Am I in it?
Oh, can we both?
I think I'm. You can. Yeah, you don't want to both be the same.
We can't.
ones.
Let's all be the same animal.
I'm gonna be
How do I know which
the
one I am?
reindeer.
I think I'm the monkey.
Am I the chicken?
Well, one of you will be one of them,
Yeah.
so we'll work
Yeah.
that out.
I think we're all in. We're all in.
We're all good?
Yep.
Lootomatic.
Complete.
That's
Yep.
new.
Okay.
Okay. There
it.
seems to be a perk card system.
What's
Don't-
the one? What's the?
I think that's the tutorial.
Oh, fireworks.
Oh,
I was like,
you've
are those
added one.
tampons?
Unlock slot.
I have,
Ready.
I think. And we're moving on.
We're ready.
All right. Here's our heist. The job's an easy one. Grab the cash and then meet me out back. They won't have much, but this is the more of the trial run thing than anything. Do me a favor, fill up on tacos while you're there. Saves me cooking for you tonight.
Yes.
Is that an
yes.
avocado with a gemstone in the center of it?
Looks like it.
It is. Well
Oh,
spotted. Well
nice. Maybe we're
spotted.
gonna be stealing some avocados.
What's that about?
Well, we know they're worth more than I can afford. Today's current economy. All right. Wait, is he wearing a... Hannibal mask.
Highly saturated, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, and the crocodile's got tape over his mouth.
That's to disguise his face.
Is this like
'Cause he's the
Hotline
getaway.
Miami but for kids, like with the masks and that kind of vibes?
Maybe.
Quick,
Yeah.
everyone, play it cool. Everyone, play it cool.
I want to go south first because I want to get some letters. I saw a letter over here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We did learn there's a sprint and like a
Got the eye.
let's all just practice
I see a
some.
taco.
We got to eat tacos as well. Eat the
Taco,
taco. Someone eat that taco.
Crocodile down.
Holy shit.
Crocodile down.
Look
So-
both ways.
Have we
come
grabbed each
on.
other?
Oh my god. So
I think I'm holding a table.
okay, is this? Hang on, can I bring? Oh, I punched a civilian. We can probably
How do I
grab
get
each
there's
other.
money. There's
Taco
money here.
off the stand. Get out of the way, dude.
Oh yeah.
So we can gang based
Oh,
style.
just left him on the road.
Oh, he's getting back up. Hang on, I'll get him.
I got
Sir,
money.
sir.
No, you got my
sir.
hand.
Sir,
Get that
come here.
taco.
I'm trying.
Oh, he's got a
I
question mark.
picked up a pumpkin.
Oh, I got cleaned up.
Oh,
Can I just say, in the
dude.
opening minute of this level, I can already see a whole night's entertainment of just
Yeah.
fucking around at the start of this on the road.
I'm gonna get a pumpkin.
He got up. He's alive, everyone.
Taco.
Get out of my pumpkin.
Okay, well, we should probably head to the supermarket.
I want to eat the taco.
Guys, come. Oh god.
Not if I eat it
Down
first.
again. Down again.
All right, eat it.
Nanogenes. Overcooked
Should I
payday
press
is the
something
best way to
else?
put
You just need to
this.
click it.
Ah.
Right thumbstick on it.
Guys, I'm heading into the
Oh,
bank.
it's not
I
working.
Picked up a human. I'm gonna throw him in the road.
Okay.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
No, they won't let. Hey!
Oh my gosh.
We
Who
paused.
paused out of fear?
I'm about to see myself die.
Not me.
I don't know. I'm not playing
Everyone
for
agree.
easy.
I'm holding up on the thumbstick.
Hang
I
on.
can get up.
Oh no, we're back.
Dead.
All right. Well, good start to the heist.
Either
guys.
way, it crashed into the cart and gave us lots of tacos. So let's eat the taco.
Taco Tuesday.
Oh my goodness, get this thing out of our face. Like, go of me.
I'm too dizzy to
You're
eat.
dragging me
Hang on.
around. So maybe
Hey,
I'm dead.
Is that cash? Cash.
Cash.
Oh, I'm dead.
How do we pick up the tacos? I can't pick them up.
I don't know.
I've pressed everything.
Oh, I found
There's another letter.
Oh yeah! Quick
Got it?
sprint, everyone! I love the sprinting mechanic. The sprinting has such cool inertia.
Oh, I don't want the umbrella.
Coming in hot.
Go away.
I need to find a toilet.
Why, Steph?
I saw the car coming and I sped up
Why
and
did the
killed
Steph cross
myself.
the road? Oh, there's another letter at the back. Around here.
Oh, I got a
Around
bag.
here.
There's a bag. I got a bag.
Can anyone see a toilet? Yep.
Oh my god, we already
The way the map zooms out when you go further away from each other
in. These screen. Okay, let's everyone head in. Everyone head in.
into the shop.
Yep. I'm going to just go into the toilet so I can revive
Am I,
myself.
is it chicken? You use chicken, Steph?
Yeah, I'm chicken.
Play cool. Play cool, man. Play cool.
I think this is a cash register.
Yeah, let's get behind the. I'm
Yeah.
behind the.
I got a bag. I can collect cash.
Bam.
I've picked up a. Oh, the
can
cops are here.
can someone flush the toilet for me so I come back to life?
I've got a bag. I got a bag of cash. Crocodiles making out of here. I'll head to the toilet. Where is the toilet?
To the
here?
right. To the right. Yep.
Can I get through here?
Yep.
Hey,
Oh, that guy's
sir,
coming through
sir.
There's also a
Excuse me.
broom in the door, so go
Yeah.
around it.
I got a taco finally.
Nice.
Oh,
eat
no,
it.
no.
How do I eat it?
Oh, security's bashing
Security.
people.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm out of there.
Peter, I'm gonna flush the toilet.
Please.
How do I flush the toilet?
Oh, monkey down.
Can someone help me with
Monkey
the toilet?
down.
Hang on. Peter's back. Peter's back.
Good
That's
flush.
a weird.
Look at this
mechanic.
box in here. Let's open it.
We're in here with 3 people. Security's here. Get him.
I'll bash him.
I brought my taco.
Eat it. Hold X, I think.
There's an ATM.
Oh,
Yeah. Nice.
Guys, things have gone south in the
bag.
bathroom.
Hang on.
who's that woman in the corner?
I'm gonna
That's
bring
security.
You don't need to worry about her.
That's
Guys,
security.
I'm leaving the scene of the
Oh,
crime.
my legs.
let's all get the hell out
My
of here.
legs.
Why are you bringing
Oh,
an
my
ATM
legs.
Don't
to
go in
the
there,
bathroom?
sir. You don't need to go in there. Oh, now he has to die.
Oh god, we're all in here.
I'm gonna
Guys,
put.
He's seen too much.
I want out. I want out.
He's seen too much.
Let me out.
I'm grabbing stuff.
I'm out. Crocodile making a run for it. Oh no.
Go on.
Grab the tacos.
All right. Let's focus objectives.
All right, cash.
There's more
Everyone,
tacos
has
here.
everyone got a bag? Or yeah.
Cash.
No. Where do we get?
Steph, we need to get you a bag of cash.
Yeah.
Let's go to the manager's office.
I think the bags are empty until you put cash in it.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah. You got to pick up
Well,
the
I
cash.
need a bag to
Gus.
put
I
cash
thought the
in.
bag had the cash in it.
Nah.
Yeah, I thought wrong.
Excuse me. Ah! Ghost.
I think I picked up
What?
some.
Well,
I've got a.
I'm holding
Table.
a human.
What is this?
There we go. There we go.
oh, cash. Cash fill out the register.
Oh, I'm coming. Peter, I'm coming. Very close. The sprint is amazing. Hang on,
pick it up.
I want some.
Nice.
Eh.
Oh, look at that bag. There's a bag of cash back here.
Is it
Oh my
just?
god, I activated some power up and now I'm going really fast.
Oh, there's a
safe
vault.
in there.
There's a vault.
Fucked
Yeah.
myself.
Can we crack the safe?
Let's just punch it.
Let's block.
Let's
Yeah,
punch it.
let's beat the
Oh,
safe up.
yeah.
Crocodile's coming.
Let's punch it. Let's punch it. Yeah.
no.
Payday.
Yeah,
I'll
this
keep
is
this
just
guy
like payday.
Oh, money.
Oh wait, the cash is out.
You got to pick it up.
Correct.
I'm dragging this guy.
This is wild. Who's the farting chicken? That'd be Steph.
That's Steph.
Oh, there's more cash
Still
here.
cash on the ground. I'm holding water.
What are you doing with that?
Get off
I'm
me.
trying to get rid of it. Oh, we're good.
Oh, there's
I'm
cash going
unconscious.
everywhere.
Where did you guys get your bags from? I need a bag.
Just found
I'm
it.
trying
the
to
manager
get cash.
is
I'm
so
getting stuff thrown at me.
The manager is so confused in the corner. I'll go teach him a lesson.
Oh, there's money out there.
Max.
Get in there.
All right.
Medium score complete.
All right. We get out of here yet?
No.
No,
we're gonna
I
get
see a
high
bag.
score.
I see a bag. I see a bag. I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
there's a whole thing of cash back there as well.
Jumping on the register. Any of you just move. I love the fact that I'm just a crocodile on a register.
All right, I have a bag, and then
I'll
I see
execute
some
every
cash.
last
Just
one of
dropping
you.
that, just dropping that, and then.
Oh, I ran into a car!
No, you're gonna lose your cash.
Oh, money gone.
No money down.
No. Money down.
Oh no! Oh no! Wendy, I
You
can
had an umbrella.
fly. I didn't lose any cash though. I think I'm okay. How's everyone doing money-wise?
Did we get all the letters?
I don't think so. I feel like we're missing
Sure.
something. Filthy Animal Entrance is here.
Ooh.
Oh.
How's that work?
Maybe that's a secret way we could
This is
have
the
got in.
power up
Maybe
thing.
once we get the full word,
Back
that
here.
opens.
Yeah. Oh, is that a power-up chicken thing?
Yeah.
Nice catch. Pop it. Oh, you ate it.
Did you just
Did it work?
eat a pigeon?
I ate a pigeon. It
You
didn't give me
ate
a
a
power.
pigeon.
What kind of filthy animal
What kind
are
of
you?
It
filthy
didn't give
animal
me
are
any
you?
power up. It just gave me shade for eating a
Yeah.
pigeon.
What's in the corner that's... Why am I
I
still
reckon
so
we just come in
dizzy?
here and we punch stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I'm down with it. Not each other.
Well, I was just throwing punches and
This
you
heist
happened
is
to...
going south, guys. We're going to turn on each other in no time. I've seen this movie before. What about the fridges?
What's? Oh, there's a lock back there. Okay, there was a key. Hang on.
Wait, what
There's
did
a
you
key in this room.
Pull doors off stuff.
Key to the left, near the... Oh, more cash.
Oh yeah, anything that has a dollar sign coming
See
up
the top of this room?
Yeah.
There's a key box. Can you guys stop punching me out? See here?
Yeah.
And then there's a lock on the door opposite.
Ow. You're just luring me here to punch me.
I'm trying to punch the lock.
I'm the croc.
Can we
Alright.
grab it?
Throw something at it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I grabbed it.
You grabbed it.
You got it. You got
Oh,
off.
nice one.
Wait, my bag.
And then
It's my bag.
bag.
There's a key.
Wait, the crocodile is
Grab the
just...
key?
What is going wrong with me as a crocodile?
someone grab that key.
I think I'm dead.
Okay, Steph's got the
Guys,
key.
I'm dead,
I have
and
it.
all I can do is
I have the
roll
key.
around.
Where's the
Oh,
door?
okay, maybe
Where's
I
the
can revive
door?
you.
Where's the door?
I can revive
Someone
you.
press Y.
Yeah, I'm holding it. So Steph, top right.
Of the room or
No,
this?
outside. Top right of the middle room.
Pete, did you take my bag? No.
Are
Are we leaving?
Yep.
She's got the key.
Just wait for me. I've got
Oh, look at that whole room up the top. There's tacos and everything.
I've created an absolute...
Oh, Steph.
Okay.
Hit left trigger. Oh, you dropped the key as well.
Give me my bag.
Nice, you got the key.
Come on.
Let me get this out of the way.
Here we go.
Nice.
Hey.
They'll never know we were here, guys.
In and out.
Jesus
What is
Christ.
this clothing?
Oh, there's the Y. How do I get to the Y? Well, like, how do I get to the...
It's so hard
Oh,
to pick
Jesus.
stuff up.
Oh, money. Lots of
Whole
money.
other room.
Oh, this is good. There's a manager back here. Nothing to look at here, ma'am. Punch. Okay,
I'm
bit
just,
of cash on the
I'm just
table.
breaking into the safe.
Nice.
Oh,
Surely we've got the main goal now.
so I'm wearing an outfit.
Is there a fat...
Cash
Holy
time.
shit.
Oh, I slipped on a banana and cracked my head open.
Alright, abandoning that. Sweet old lady, I'm so sorry.
Eat 8 tacos. I think we're almost there.
There's a Wi-Fi thing.
Guys, there's 2
so many
buttons up here.
puzzles.
I think
Oh,
2
yep.
people have to press buttons
Yep.
at the same time.
Oh shit.
Someone press the other button.
Press
Yeah,
it.
go get the letter.
Oh, nice.
Teamwork.
That wasn't a letter. That was a syringe or something.
Yeah. That's a fancy letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's this popcorn thing?
There's things that are shiny that I've been trying to pick up that I just can't.
Yeah.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ! Oh my gosh!
What
Come
happened?
on.
We got to go out the back.
How do we
Okay.
get out of here?
There's another room up here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a taco.
There's
here.
this whole thing.
Did we
All this
open-
stuff is blocking the
Did we
exit.
open the door? To that
Yeah.
other room? Okay.
This
Yeah.
is
we got in
chaos.
there.
Okay,
I'm
so,
also wearing an outfit, Pete.
so we can
leave
break
this-
this with something. An axe. If we can find an axe, we can break through that.
What if we all just punch it together in unison?
Oh, you can punch that.
Yeah, nice. Now I'm unconscious, but
Oh, and now I'm holding you.
yeah, a little bit of
Watch
cash.
Sorry, security lady.
Can we find an axe somewhere? This has way more like a puzzle.
Oh, I've eaten a farting thing. I'm so sorry.
Crocodile.
Crocodile farting.
I
Crocodile
can't
farting.
pick up the
Crocodile
shiny
farting.
things. I thought I'd figured it out, but.
Can you please stop farting on me? Oh, I can't go any further that way because we're too far up.
Oh, there's a Y in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hang on, is this a door
But
here?
it's
And
out,
a
it's out the
skull.
back, and so we need to break through the back exit door, which we need an axe for. So we should look around for an axe.
Yeah, okay.
For an axe.
We need an axe.
Maybe in
I
a
reckon if we go-
storeroom somewhere.
Yeah, we went to the storeroom. Maybe it's down the the front here.
Ouch.
That guy
Well,
came out of
that's
the bathroom
outside.
and Steph and I
That's
double
outside.
ticked him. Stay in there.
There's no way.
It said specifically an axe, did it?
That's what it looked like.
Sometimes
to
I
me.
can't find myself, and then I just see myself holding like 4 objects.
Are we sure we can't go around the...
Maybe you can jump on the dumpster.
Yeah, potentially.
I'm gonna hop in this car.
We got the high score.
Nice.
Really?
Apparently, yeah. It's a high score.
What?
Oh, there's cash over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm struggling over here. Nah, that's not working. We're just making a scape.
Yeah, let's make an escape.
Can you get in the car?
Brutal.
I tried to make an escape.
Which way are we escaping?
It's across the road, I think.
Really?
Oh, really? Oh, God, everyone, slowly.
Legging it.
This is where we came in. Oh, eat that taco.
Yeah, we can work out our...
Duck.
Where's our escape route? I think we would have...
We're at 7 of 8 tacos. Eat one more taco.
Ah!
Chicken, eat that taco. Yes. Hold extra. Yeah, that's nice.
Okay. Does he want to come pick us up?
Hello.
Come and get us? Maybe it was at the back. Hang on there. Oh, no, that's the fire hydrant.
The farting car.
Off he goes.
No, okay,
Can't go
back
that
over the
way.
road.
It's got to be over.
Oh
the
my
road.
God! What are you doing?
I punched you.
Why
That's
did the
what,
chicken
that's what I did.
cross the road?
Maybe
we
do
have
need
to get
finish
through
it.
the level.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
So, okay, so let's find an axe.
Find someone's, Lord Phoenix says the fire axe.
Yeah, but where was it? Like, that checks out, but where is it? I can't see
Charge into the door with a
it.
power.
Is it here? Is it here? I'm at like a fire thing.
That would
Kind
make
of
sense.
looks like it.
Oh, that?
Why is that guy?
It does say fire
The
on
security guy is like.
Yes,
is
yep,
messing with
axe.
things.
Yes! I got it.
Oh, watermelon for everyone.
Yeah, I haven't got...
Oh, I just got nailed.
Gus.
I'm trying to get the axe. I have the axe.
You have it?
I'm down. I have the
want
axe.
the axe.
You
I've got the axe.
get him.
Oh, threw it. I threw the
go.
axe. We lost the axe.
Oh my gosh, this is chaos.
Shit. All right, grab it.
I can't have a slippery when wet side.
Raj is just brutalizing it.
Just give me the axe.
All right, give Raj the axe. He's the guest. Give the
Gus,
guest the axe.
give Raj the axe.
I will just once we get out of here.
I want to be player 1.
I want to be player 1.
All right, have I dropped the axe? Oh my god, I'm trying.
Has someone got it?
Oh my
No,
gosh.
you've got it. You've got it. You've got
There's
it.
like
got it.
projectile bottles that like.
I've got it and I'm going.
We were giving it to Raj.
Nah.
You said, come here,
Oh.
come here.
What's that skull floating in the corner?
I know that's a thing that
I
we want
threw
to
it.
get.
I think just use it, right?
Ow.
Hang on.
X, I guess. Once you're holding
X
anything,
to
yeah.
axe?
Hold X, yeah.
So we got to grab it. Gus has got it.
All right, hang on. Here we go.
Steer clear.
Coming through. And. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
Keep
one.
going. Keep going.
Smash it.
Keep going.
Hold
Again.
X. Hold X. No.
No,
No.
maybe it's the triggers, like fighting.
It's just like walk off and then.
Well, surely there's. Just throw it at it. Come back and then throw it at it.
Hey, what he's doing is working.
Yeah, but that's boring.
That was so,
Nah.
yeah.
That was so underwhelming.
Yeah.
For a man
fuck you
who's
all.
all about Fallout.
You did great. You did great, Gus.
Are we out? This
Yeah.
looks like yes. Wait, a few,
Oh,
there's more things.
Ah,
Cops! Cops!
Pigeon, delicious.
That guy's got a gun.
Stephanie's not
He's
hitting
got a
pigeons.
gun.
He's got a gun?
This guy's got a gun.
No, that's a
Wait,
stick.
God damn it.
Shut up. We're showing you a gun. We don't know.
You're trying to make us beat this man to death.
There's the H.
Oh, what happened? Oh,
Watch
I'm
out.
dead. Oh, someone come and res me if you can.
Where are you?
I'm on the ground next to Steph. You hold Y.
Yep.
What's it? Oops. Oh,
I
it's
let
your
a
bag.
perfectly good
That's my
pigeon
bag,
go
yeah.
to save you. I hope you feel loved.
I do.
Something in the mystery box. What's in the mystery box? Go.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
See, I can't pick these things
Yep.
up, whatever these
Grab
are.
it.
Maybe
Yep,
I've
nice.
like maxed
Yeah.
out on them
Maybe
or
you've got
something.
full health.
Are these fireworks that we can shoot at them?
Oh, hell.
Oh, I'm getting beaten.
Quick, get him with the firework.
What is this arrow here? Are
Oh, can we kill people? Let's fuck this guy up.
Jesus. I've got the axe.
Ben Dixon, the
He's my husband.
pigeon eating. Oh, I've got it. Okay, I've got it. I'm gonna shoot him.
How do you use how'd you do that? Whoa!
Holy shit.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. I held both triggers, I think.
When you
And
sprint
then I hit
into a
A.
wall and knock yourself out, it's the fucking ever.
All right, I think we've stuck around this.
Yep.
place
Okay, we
long
gotta
enough.
get the
Let's
last
get the hell
letter.
out of here.
There's a letter down bottom right.
Oh yeah, we have.
does this say
Yeah,
up
let's
here?
get the last letter. Coming.
Bottom right?
Yeah, down here.
Yep. Everyone in here.
Somewhere. Nice. Collect filthy. Collect.
Oh, should we go to the filthy
funky
animals?
hat.
We go to the funny entrance.
Oh.
Yeah,
Come on, I want that.
sombrero.
What's that? Yeah, kill them both.
Did you
Let's
hold
get out of
X
here.
to let off the fireworks, did you say?
No, I
button
think it was.
mashed, I think.
Yeah, I think it was both triggers or A. Try A.
No.
Both triggers.
Do we just stand here? Is that the end?
Yeah, I guess we just stand in that.
Everyone D-pad to dance? Oh, yeah, thanks, Pete.
Oh yeah, we gotta stay here for a second.
This is called the unconscious dance.
Quick, get your bag. Don't forget your bag.
I'm down.
Bag. Oh, yeah,
Res
yeah.
me,
Yeah,
res
Oh,
me.
me too.
Resing.
So when you're down and rezzed, you can jump and move still.
Yeah, but if that green bar empties, you
Oh, okay.
become a little nugget, and you have to
ghost
jump
or
into the
whatever.
toilet and get flushed to come back.
There's people's bags.
Oh yeah, my
Get
bag.
your bags. Get your cash.
All right,
All right, everyone get your bags. Hang on, I'm gonna get mine.
I'm jumping in. You got to jump up into the truck. It's okay. 7 seconds.
Wait,
7
what?
seconds.
Holy shit.
6 seconds.
Extract,
5 seconds.
extract.
I forgot my bag.
Go,
Jump,
go,
jump.
go,
Leave
go.
the trash behind.
My bag. Oh my god.
Now D-pad.
No.
Oh,
Nah,
dance.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
My God.
That's chaos.
Yeah.
That is madness.
Wow.
Not bad.
Up.
There's so much happening
bad.
on screen at once.
MVP.
MVP. The master.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
I was an apprentice?
Yeah,
What the shit?
Yes, in your rightful place.
Do you is it like
We did all the objectives.
can you loser? Can you remap the buttons?
Potentially. I think you probably.
Maybe
Oh
not.
my god, we unlocked guns. That doesn't seem very safe.
They heard your speech earlier. Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken is out of
Because
the
I feel like
Nice.
because I feel like the controls are they don't
I think
they
they're,
don't
but
feel
they're like game
intuitive.
based. They're
Yeah.
purposely like
No, I know,
hard to
but I
wrangle.
think the fact that to pick something up, you use an upstick towards it, and it just doesn't feel like I don't know.
Yeah, I think like
It
these
should
games
be-
always try to be intentionally obtuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
But-
button press to pick up an object seems pretty obvious.
I wonder
to
if they
me.
would have left without me if I wasn't there.
Yeah, maybe.
I was curious
Maybe.
about that.
I
Actually,
think we definitely would have.
Nice. Well, yeah, there's a number of missions there. We unlocked the bank, and there was a bit of a cutscene at the start, but that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like that it's not those chaos games where it's all physics-based and it's all, as you said, quite janky. It's like gang bases all that, throwing each other off a building. Overcooked is kind of, I guess it's cooperative, most of it, but it's chaotic. I like that, yeah, there's the cooperative element to this, and it's just like,
Yeah,
it's gang-based,
It's about
but
striking the balance between sort of chaotic, sandboxy fun, but also giving you enough objectives to work together,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
it kind of keeps you motivated.
And that like hit each other, knock each other out of the way element, like.
Yeah.
And you don't need 4, right? You can just play with 2 or 3.
You can play with one.
through,
You
yeah,
play
I think.
one.
which
Yeah,
might be
yeah.
probably an easier way to do
Yeah,
it,
much
honestly.
easier.
If I was
Yeah.
planning a heist, I'd be like, you know what? I'm doing this on my own. I think I actually do
For
fine.
sure, for sure.
And then what was was Party Animals was the one we played ages back.
Party
It was still-
Animals is the brawler with gang BC kind of
Party
vibes,
Animals
yeah.
still was the best version of that. It was the same thing
It's
where
still
all
not
those
out.
cute animals. It had like a really good
I
art style.
agree,
And
yeah.
it just felt like I think the camera was the right distance from that game. That one, the only issue I had with that was how far like
Yeah,
things
and the
very-
UI and stuff. Text is really hard to read and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
Was, was gang? You were animals in gang beasts as well, weren't you?
No, you were just like
You were
play
just little
play
duties.
people. You were just
I
little
think
kind
I'm
of
melding
like
them together in my mind.
Party Animals was the one where you were like a fluffy dog or a duckling or.
But you were still on different like moving maps and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
and
we're on a
vehicles and-
submarine.
Remember the submarine
Yeah,
with the bomb
yeah,
and stuff?
Yeah,
yeah.
but it was
Yeah,
more.
the bomb,
yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
essentially it was more kind of like Smash Bros. But yeah, done
Party
with that.
Animals, we played the demo in Steam Fest whenever we played
Is
that.
it out yet?
and it still doesn't have a release date.
Wow.
So
Weird.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not in like development limbo or like hell because it's
Dahlia
just...
says there's a free demo for this on Steam right now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that as being a good couch, like crazy game as well.
Yeah.
Like they always are. I think that's like an almost like an easy formula to just be like physics and party top-down games. But I like that one. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Excellent. This whole episode was a delight.
It was. It was. But we should wrap things up.
That's what I was doing.
I know.
That's what that was.
With the credits.
And I'm throwing at you.
And but let's bring it all down to
With the credits.
We should.
Credits.
I'm not going to read them. Are you going to read them?
I'm definitely not going to read them.
Steph, would you read them?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Gamble it to
Josh, are you going to read them?
Nope, there it is. He's got his light back on, but he's not back.
Turn that on for that.
Not cooperating. No, Raj, as guest this week, thank you first of all for coming. But we feel it is only
Guests
fair.
normally get to read these out.
That's what we make
Get
them all
to,
do.
yes,
That's
correct.
Get to. Forced to, mate. They are forced to.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So you did mention earlier that while you were up on stage,
Yes.
selling everything that you didn't quite know what was going on.
Should we put him on stage for the...
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do
Can I
it.
do that?
On the
Yeah.
green screen. Just cancel everyone as you read their name.
So if you wouldn't mind just heading up to the green screen
All right,
stage,
okay.
Josh is probably having a heart attack right now going, we didn't plan this in the slightest.
This is not what we
Raj,
spoke about.
please go on stage and assume the character of
Is this possible?
a megalomaniac,
Could just be on green screen, maybe.
a megalomaniac
I was giving him-
tyrant who is cancelling everyone who supports the show.
Well, that's
The names.
Oh, yeah.
That's
oh,
fine.
that's a good point.
We can
Yeah.
do that.
There we go. That's a stretch. That's going to be hard to read.
That's right. Yep. Well,
But that will make it more fun.
It's kind of how this works.
you
in fact.
realise I can only see out of one eye, right?
I was going to say that as well.
That
But
is-
it's the eye that's closer to the television.
So no depth perception and no depth perception and difficult to read, and you're on green screen,
Yes.
and you're a maniacal tyrant,
there's a-
and you're cancelling everything. And does this work, Josh?
He's going to need a bit of time.
Okay.
Need a bit
All right,
of
Yeah.
here we go.
Yes.
Here we go. I can
First
see
of all-
myself, so this is going to be great.
Perfect. And can we spend there?
Welcome, comrades.
Can you read that?
The mods. Gat. Syntax error. Gone. First to the slaughter. Listalia, Sith Cat, Phoenix Online, Distributed 778, Disturbed, sorry, Jax, Caboose, What the Shark, Snail XD, Lord, Shadma,
Close enough.
Gone, Guspian Wrangler, Dante, you're useless. Apart, what? Aperius Baker, Honey Bun Bun, Bot Lubricator, We Are Robots, gone! Foot Settler, Moth Captain, gone! Costume Department, Open Oranishi, you can stay. Remover of foot from Gus's mouth, Babbling Boff Goff, and Millenifer, Williner, Snail XD, Back Pocket Legal Team, BuriBuri, Head Technician, Kane Lambos, Scotty Groomer, I'm getting closer to the microphone. Naming Department, Osmanager, Best Boy, Gone! All of you. Worst Boy, Evil Spy Boy, Evil, good, stay. Box Boy, Boxy, you can go. You can stay. I need coffins. Scotty Fetus, Super Studios, Scotty Brutus, Ropong, gone. Scotty Wranglers by Frost. Yep, yeah, that's cool. Peter Perfect, MiddleCee. Peter's Cable Guy, Wolsey, gone! Designer of Worlds, A. Timothy, Steph's Attention Grabber, Darcy 86. You can stay.
Yeah.
Community Hot Boy, Nicrotex, gone!
Wow.
Any Hot Boy, the Coastal City, gone. Remover of Sassas, gone. I can stay.
Get him out of there.
Housebound Music for Hire, Dinosaur Supervisor, Phil Tippett, and Bird Supervisor, Loki Cat. You can all go.
Well done.
Excellent.
Bravo.
Get him off the stage.
Bravo.
Nicrotex,
I don't want
wow.
to Nicrotex attacked. Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my shit because I saw in the chat someone said Put that arm down.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It went a little bit too far past horizontal
Yeah.
at times.
That's the
It was
green
also like
screen.
it was Russian, and then it was a bit German, and then it was
no
Russian
one has
again.
ever nailed their accent when they're putting one on this show. That's part of the charm of the whole thing.
We saw the end there, Loki Cat. Thank you very much, Loki Cat. Sponsor of the Post Show. Post Show is coming up soon.
Hey.
Loki Cat is a lover of scotch and cockatiels, so each week we describe him, but in the style of some wanky tasting notes. This week, Loki Cat is a fusion of unique and rare elements and clouded in secrecy. Oh, we usually get the guest to read this as well. Would you like to take over?
He needs a breather, I think.
He needs a breather.
And you got a close up.
My voice is gone.
Yeah, sorry. Let me start again. Loki Cat is a fusion of unique and rare elements and clouded in secrecy, a culmination of a lifetime's experience.
Oh.
Distilled over, in brackets, his age.
That seems like a back.
Oh yeah,
that's a
well, it
dig.
had an age, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know, just his age.
Distilled over 12 years
Oh,
and matured in a selection of the world's finest casks. Of course, whilst the exact secrets of his production are known only to its creators, we can tell you that his melting sweetness and explosive spiciness is, at least in part, caused by his unique roasted chocolate barley malt and his specialty designer casks.
Whoa, amazing.
What good is a designer cask? You never see it.
A Gucci
Yeah,
barrel.
like you get the product that it was, it came from the barrel. You never see that barrel. Who cares if it's designer?
Well, maybe it's designer in that it's like functionally in like
Well, that'd be the type of wood. You got yourself a cherry oak.
or the shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually that they're aged in something that has already had something in the barrel. So
Yeah.
that's why you get like sherry or
Oh,
something
sherry.
like that.
No, I said
Not
cherry.
I mean, cherry. There is cherry wood. But
Good point. I got cherry.
yeah, it's probably Gucci. I think it probably is like a designer
Loki
label
Cat
getting into
would
barrels.
be aged in a Gucci cask.
Yeah.
I could totally say that.
Yeah, for sure. He's always walking around with a belt,
The big buckle.
the big belt buckle. Gucci.
Classic.
And the loafers.
Yeah. Oh my God. Boat shoes. You're nowhere near the ocean, mate.
Loki Cat says bourbon uses virgin oak, and then Scotland imports used barrels for scotch and such.
All right,
and
nerd.
such.
and such.
And so forth and so on.
such.
As he says.
That is our show, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you very much to Raj for coming up and being here. Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for making the trip,
Thanks for
man.
having me. No worries.
Love
Anytime.
having you on the show.
Anytime.
Anytime.
Anytime is a good time.
All right.
That had welcome back
He's
energy.
also, he's so fucking tired. We never said this at the start. You've been up in Sydney, like, working hard, and everyone else you're working with has gone home to
Working
rest.
hard or hardly working.
Well, then you decided to
hard
keep
last
working
night.
and come here. So
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you so much
No,
because we
no.
know it's
fun.
it's more work as well.
It's all right. It's okay. I like to hang
It's
shit
all
on you,
right.
Gus.
It's all right.
It's all right. I'm saying it's okay.
He gets enough
okay.
out of being able to bully you that it's worth his time.
That's right.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
That's
Oh, isn't that sweet? Thank you very much to everyone who supports us on Patreon. Without you guys, we couldn't make this thing, so really appreciate it. If you've got friends who are rich, get them hooked onto it. Plug them in at the crazy high end.
Back pocket. It's just like heroin.
Just
get
if
your
like,
rich friends
like
on.
if they need to, for tax purposes, get some money out of a bank account, get them onto the back pocket Patreon.
I
We'd
can
really
just
appreciate it.
imagine, like, at the point in their life where they're like, apprehended by the police and they're going through all their transactions. So, like, I can see you have some money in an account in an offshore bank account in the Cayman Islands, and you laundered money through this strange thing and
Invest in this dumb shit.
What is back pocket?
That's where I keep my cash.
Yeah. We do really appreciate it, but if you can't support financially, we really appreciate you being here tonight and sharing stuff on social media and stuff as well. You can find all of our links at backpocket.gg. So if you don't know where we are, go there and you'll find everything. We'll be back next Thursday. That was it for this show. It's all done.
What a time.
All done.
But then, Sexy Raj post show.
Sexy Raj post show is coming right up.
All of this, foreplay.
A little sexier. We're going to find someone to raid, but for now, we're going to back it out. Thank you very much, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.